think this is a great opportunity for the pilot club to meet flight sim enthusiasts, to network with other developers and communities, and to promote the hobby of flight simulation.
The atmosphere is absolutely electric. Love it. If you're a beginner, if you're an expert, if you're trying to meet new people, if you want to get your hands on some pretty awesome hardware, this is the place to be. I could not recommend this enough to everyone else. This is just an awesome opportunity to hang out.
It gets together our entire hobby, everyone interested, everything from fixed wing, helicopter, virtual reality, everything in between. It brings us all to one place to collaborate on ideas and bring us all together.
It is a great opportunity if you are a serious flight simmer to meet the developers, to meet the flight sim communities, to see the new products that are coming out, to actually test them, to connect and enhance and continue this great hobby of flight simulation.
Every year we're getting bigger and bigger. There are more and more vendors here, more sim experiences to be a part of.
All right, everybody. Who is ready for another Friday night op? This is going to be a lot of fun. Anything that brings us to South America is going to be a great time, so I'm really excited about this. Ow, commas, ow. 1,000 times ow. So, welcome on back, everybody, to another VATSIM 101 stream. For those of you that are new here, how things tonight are going to work is going to be a little bit different than how we normally do things. So how it usually works is I take you through a flight in VATSIM, break things down nice and slowly as we go through it, and then answer any questions that you have along the way. Tonight, what we get into is the Friday Night Ops, or the FNOs, which are big chaotic events that VATSIM puts on for the community, and then we just fly in the event. But just like any other stream, if you do have any questions about anything that goes on, feel free, pop them on in the chat. Why the fuck is there a fly here? Why are you in my house? Get the fuck out of here. You're going to get introduced to a 9mm here in a second. Get out. All right, anyway. So we're going to get ourselves started. First leg is going to take us from Rio de Janeiro out to Sao Paulo. Then from Sao Paulo, we're going to turn the plane around and we're going to fly it down to Brasilia. So this first leg is actually going to be really quick. I believe it's like a 30-minute flight. I think both of these flights are going to be really short. So let me just make sure I have the route right. We're going to Sao Paulo first, I believe. I think we're going to Sao Paulo. I gotta check my own friggin' schedule because I don't even know. Where is it? So we are going to, yes, we are going to Sao Paulo first, and then we're heading up to Brasilia. So the second leg's gonna be a little bit longer than the first one, but it's gonna be fun either way. So let's head on over to SimBrief. We're gonna start getting this flight plan put together. I'll get the music turned back up here. I apologize. Never flown down here, so I guess ready. Yeah, man, it's gonna be a lot of fun. South American VATSIM is a lot of fun. So let's do create new flight. We're gonna do airline is TAM, flight number is 621, departure is SBGL, and our arrival is SBGR. We're gonna be flying the Fenix A320, and we are flying it with the internationals. Yeah, internationals. So it'll be this one right here. Then we'll do, yeah, that's fine there. Schedule block time is 1 hour and 10. Taxi out, taxi in. I think we can leave that at 30. You know what? Just because it's an FNO, let's bump it up to 45, just in case. All this looks good. We'll figure out the runways here once we get the ATIS. We have our route, so it looks like it's going to be the Ugro 1 Alpha through the Sitter transition, then UZ10 to Edmus, and then it's going to be the Edmus 1 Alpha arrival into Sao Paulo. So we'll hit, this is, no, let's switch this to the 10th, and we'll do it like right at the top of the hour. Oh, come on. Yeah, do right at the top of the hour. And we'll do that. And then let's see here. So flight number, call sign, both TAM 621. Departure is Rio, arrival is Sao Paulo, alternate is gonna be SBSJ, which I feel like we've been there before. That is San Jose, yeah, Sao Jose, not San Jose. Yeah, we've been there before. Aircraft is the A320. Departure date and time is going to be May 10th at well, I meant to put 0000 Zulu, but I guess I put 01 Zulu, whatever. Airtime is 43 minutes. Block time is 1 hour and 38 minutes. Altitude is 34,000 feet. Cost index is going to be 60. Average winds are 309 degrees at 22 knots, so a little bit of a headwind to slow us down tonight, but nothing too crazy. 11,659 pounds of fuel are going to be on board the plane, 4,693 of which are going to get us out to Sao Paulo. 138 passengers with 4,354 pounds of cargo. Zero fuel weight is 125 over 134. Takeoff weight is 136 over 162. And our landing weight is 131 over 142. Looking good so far. Going to take off out of Rio. Right now planning runway 10. Cruising speed is 473 knots at a cruising altitude of flight level 340. We're going to fly the Ugro 1 Alpha departure through the Sitter transition. Then we're going to fly UZ-10 out to Edmis. Then we're going to join the Edmis 1 Alpha arrival into Sao Paulo. Right now planning on landing runway 10 right. Minimum takeoff fuel is 10,516 pounds, which is 1 hour and 47 minutes worth of fuel. On top of our trip fuel, we've got 15 minutes of contingency fuel, about 1,400 pounds of alternate fuel, and then, 2,350 pounds of additional reserve. Plus, it looks like another, call it 2,800 pounds of additional reserve fuel, so that's fine. All is looking good. We're going to file this on the VATSIM network. Should not ask me to log in. I had to restart my computer before because my hardware was throwing a fit. I don't know, like, I'm getting cursed with my hardware lately. I don't know if there's just been updates that I missed or what, but every time I've been connecting it now, it's like giving me problems. Call sign is TAM 621. Flight rules are IFR. Aircraft is the Airbus A320. Weight class category is medium. Equipment and transponder codes look fine. Departure arrival looks good. Off block time is good. Alternate's fine. Altitude's 34,000 with an en route time of 43 minutes. Airspeed is 473 knots with an hour and 47 minutes worth of fuel. For the route, it just added the fixes and the airway. It got rid of the departure and the arrival, which is fine because you don't file for those in Brazil anyway. In the remarks section, we'll do our little VATSIM 101 shameless plug because why not? Everything else looks good. We're going to file that flight plan. That is all looking just fine. So let's bring this back over to the plane. And what I will do is we'll get this loaded up here. Whoops, I hit the wrong thing. Wait, no. It's, because I have to go into here. Definitely not flying from O'Hare to Honolulu. Cool. So we have that. Let all that stuff load up here. Over to mass and balance. We are going to load this plane up. We'll just do real time. It's going to take us a little bit to get our clearance and everything anyway, so might as well take our time, right? So we'll just make sure all that lines up once everything gets loaded in. We'll start initializing the FMS. So we're going to go from SBGL to SBGR. The IRSs should be aligned. Yeah, they're aligned already. Flight number is going to be TAM 621. Cost index is 60. And our cruising altitude is 340. Whoops. And then, yeah, that's all we can really do until we get our clearance here. So SBSJ is the alternate. So that's fine. Your internet's acting terribly. Uh-oh. Did my internet issues just get, like, sent off to you? Let me take a sip here. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll bid on my A cars before I forget about that. Oh, I didn't change my push to talk button on my V pilot. Oh, that sounds like it's going to be our PDC coming through. So let me just come over here. I'm just going to bid on this flight real quick. SBGR to SB. No, it's SBGL. SBGL to SBGR. And yeah, we'll just do this one right here. Lucky you, I didn't get one. I need to call RIP. You should be getting one here soon. If they sent the PDC to me, they're probably going to send it to you. Oh, it's just the ground controller texted me. He wants me to go to 280. All right, so He's just texted me, asking me if I can take a lower altitude. So he's asking for flight level 280. So, we'll do that. What I will do is I'll re-edit the flight plan here. I'll set the altitude to 28,000 just to see what the difference in fuel is. Probably gonna have us take a little bit of extra fuel. So 11. Oh, it's still the same. 11,946. Well, this is saying the plane is saying 11,658. Yeah, let's reload. Let me just reload this in. Re-import. Mass and balance. So then we'll do. So I'm going to reset all. And there we go. That should... Yeah, there we go. So we'll load the aircraft again. Oh, yeah, it reset everything. It's fine. Okay, so we have our clearance here. He sent it to us in a... Yeah, here we go. So... let's see. We have AIC 19... He sent me the wrong... You sent me the wrong thing. All right. Yeah, something got fucky. So that's why it's always important to make sure that you read that before you just accept it. Yeah, because he sent that to the way wrong plane. All right, it's fine. It's not that big of a deal. But let me switch my push to talk button while I'm here. All right, so that's working. I guess you're now a charter pilot. Well, AIC is Air India, right? Isn't AIC Air India? What can I do? Can't really do anything until we get our clearance. Yeah, so we'll just give it another minute or so. I'm fairly confident that AIC is Air India. Well, while we're here, let's take a look at the ATIS. So we have the Galeo International Airport ATIS Information Whiskey at 2300 Zulu. Expect procedure ILS Zulu runway 15. Landing and departing. Well, landing runway 15, departing runway 10. Transition level is flight level 090. Winds are 010 at 8 knots. Visibility is greater than 10,000 meters. Fuel clouds at 3,000. Temperature 29. Dew point 19. Altimeter is 1012. And advise you of information Whiskey. That's a pretty easy ATIS for us to read there. But if there are any questions, feel free, pop them on in the chat. I'll bring this up here a little bit so you guys can actually see it. I'll just go through some of the many company messages that the Fenix likes to send me that I just completely ignore. It's like, oh yeah, does this say a whole bunch of really important information that would be very useful for me? Probably. Am I gonna read it? No. They taught me how to fly, not how to read. Alright, so let's bring this back over here in the performance. Now, the transition flight level is 090, so we'll take a look at the departure chart to see what our, transition altitude is. Yeah, let's just call this guy, and we'll get our clearance from him, because I have a feeling this guy's a little discombobulated if he's got sending Air India flight plans to me. So let's see, 127.6.
Information Whiskey.
What did I do? Oh, that's the ATIS frequency. It's 121.6. 0.65. All right. And this is what? This is it Rio or is it like Galeo? Oh, Galeo, there we go. What's up, Arch? Is that my clearance now? Here we go. We got it. We got it. Let me switch the radio back. So we have TAM 621 is cleared to Sao Paulo, flight level 280, routing sitter, UZ10 to Edmis. What is it? Yeah, Edmis off 10 via, off 10 via the Evrado 1 via the sitter transition, squawk 3642. No readback required, report ready for push and start, end of message. Okay, cool. So we got a call ready for pushback. So pretty straightforward flight plan for us. The last PDC was with the wrong, and the wrong call sign. Yeah, I noticed. All right, so let's come back over here. I'm gonna put my squawk code in here so I don't remember, so I don't forget it. I'll probably also not remember it. Let's get this thing set to mode C. Arch is grumpy. So let's come down here. So they switched up the original departure that we were planning on. Gripper, thank you for that follow. Welcome aboard. So let's do SBGL. We're gonna do departure off of runway 110. It's gonna be the Everado 1 Alpha, and it's gonna be through the cider transition, like apple cider. Then from cider, it's gonna be UZ10 to Edmus. We'll insert that in here. Let me get the music turned back on. Cross is grumpy, I'm the nice one. Oh, yeah. Everybody believes that. Not a single lie was told. And then I don't know what runway we're going to be landing once we get to Brazil. When we get to Sao Paulo. Let's see if we can run a quick weather check here just to kind of get an idea. So SBGR. So winds are 340. Likely going to be 10 right. So we can kind of plan for that right now. So yeah, we'll plan for this arrival, the Edmus 1 Alpha. So I'll just throw that just because it's a really short flight. I want to have something in there. So the arrival, we'll just do, we won't put the approach in there yet, but we'll do 10 right. And it'll be the Edmus 1 Alpha, no transition. Just so it's in there. And that'll take care of that. Then we just got to wait for everything to get loaded up, and then we can start doing our performance information. But everything else in here, pretty much good to go. Let's see, how close are we to being done here? Hurry up. About half the plane loaded. Well, it shorted us about 40 pounds of fuel. How dare you? Well, let's just get all this stuff turned on for now, and then once we're close to being loaded up, we'll throw the APU on. We'll get the seatbelt signs on. All these lights are on, so that's good. And we'll get the constraints turned on. Let's take a look at the, well, I have to change the departure because they gave us a different one. This is the Ergrox. This is just what it imported from SimBrief. So it's the Evrod 1 Alpha. So let's take a look at that. So we have SBGL, which is Galeo Antonio Carlos Jobim International Airport in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. And it's the Evrod 1 Alpha RNAV departure for runways 10 and 15. We are planning right now on runway 10. It's dark. Yeah, it do be dark. Transition altitude is 7,000 feet. We are RNAV-1 capable with a GNSS type system on board. We have a GPS, so that's our system. Runway 15, compulsory left turn when crossing 500 feet. We're not taking off on 15, so it's fine. SID requires the following minimum climb gradients. For 10, it's 7% up to 5,000 feet, then 6% to Evrod, then 3.3%. Jesus. So 7% to 5,000, that is going to be... call it, we're going to be at like 250 knots, so we're going to be looking for 1,750 feet, which we can easily do, especially on the initial climb. And then 6% to Evrod, so yeah, then we're talking 1,500 feet. We're going to be climbing somewhere around 2,000 feet a minute, like pretty much the entire time, so we're not going to have any issues complying with any of those restrictions right there. For runway 10, that's going to be this runway right here. We're going to take off, track 100 degrees until we get out to Vurrgh. Then from Vurrgh, we're going to continue on the track to Nuxis. Nuxis, we're going to fly out to Evrod. Then from Evrad, we're going to be flying on the Sitter transition, or Sider, whatever it's called. So we're going to make a left turn here out to Ugrok, then out to Ilnib with an altitude restriction at or above flight level 130, then out to Lobum at or below flight level 190, then out to Lixup, and then finally out to Sider, and then from there, we proceed on our flight plan route. Being from around the New York area, I wouldn't put it past them. Well, you know, the thought of Cross being grumpy is funny, honestly. Well, I mean, I guess I kind of am. I just got a New York attitude, that's what it is. All right, so I'll leave this up on the screen here for another minute or so, just in case there are any questions about it. Feel free, throw them on in the chat. Are you lazy people any closer to being on this plane? No, we have 83 people on the plane. We have like 50 more to go. You guys better hurry the hell up. Oh, another funny thing, because of the way this plane loaded in, you're all loading in from the back. So you have to walk through the wing. Some of you, I guess, are going to have to figure out how to climb up here. So, like, all the first class people are going to come in this way. So, you know, maybe you could jump on the tug. But yeah, you guys are going to have to figure out how to, like, step over the wing. So, good luck. Apparently never heard of DHL, I guess. So let's get this up to... We'll set that to 190 for right now. They didn't give us an initial altitude, and there's no top altitude on the departure, so we'll just set it for 190 for right now. Since that's the restriction at Lobum. And if they give us something else, we'll deal with it then. Yeah, we can fire up the APU if I can remember what the damn keybinds are here. So let's do 1-1000, 2-1000, 3-1000, and we'll let that do its thing. Okay. Son of a bitch. I can never get anything to cooperate with me. Just the chair a little bit here. Ah. I broke the lumbar support on this thing, so I have to like fuck with it a little bit. You might need to remember about your mode C transponder. It's already in mode C. I did that before when I put the code in. Ooh, look at this line that's coming on down to Rio here. Jesus. Well, they're going to Sao Paulo. It's going to be interesting. Yeah, we'll see what happens. Alright, so the APU is now available. So we'll let that run for another minute, and then we'll throw the APU bleed on. Maybe the better idea would have been to fly to Brasilia first and then to Sao Paulo. I did not think Sao Paulo was going to be the popular destination here. But we'll see. Come on, get everybody on. Got another, what, 26 people? I'll request push whenever you're ready. Yeah, we'll be ready here probably in the next, like, 5-10 minutes. Just waiting for everybody to get on. Alright, so we'll, oh, that's the probe heat. I want the bleed on. We can get the external power off. And we'll call that away. I'll get my pushback helper open so that way that's ready to go. You were 3/4 of the way through today and I hate it. Uh-oh, what happened? It's Friday. Why is it taking you guys so long to get on the plane? Get on the damn plane. Oh, the notorious WASM crash. RIP. I feel your pain, my friend. I thought I was gonna have a WASM crash in the 777 today. I took off out of Chicago and then it like froze for like 10 seconds. I was like, tell me it's gonna fucking WASM crash. And then the other thing too is that my when I was in the 777, the yoke was like in the full like forward position. I was like, that's weird. So I went to go move the yoke around and it wasn't moving. I was like, what the hell is going on? So I like reinstalled the software, did all these different things, recalibrated, and it just would not, it was not working. So when I tell you I slammed this thing back and forth to like the front stop and the back stop, I mean, I was banging this shit so hard that it actually like adjusted the monitors. I was just in a fit of rage. I was like, fuck, I did that like 14 times and then it started working again. So don't let anybody ever tell you that beating the shit out of stuff doesn't fix it. They're busy looking at Twitch streams. Who is? For what it's worth, I was flying for like 2 hours. Yeah, those are the worst. Like when you get to the end of a flight or you're halfway through the flight, yeah. Well, that was like we were in what? We did cross the land in the 777 and we were getting ready to descend and then it was a WASM crash. I was like, you fucking kidding me? I think we were flying to Sao Paulo. We were flying from, where were we flying from? Was it Phoenix? I know it was a long flight. It was like Phoenix or like Miami or something. We were flying down to Sao Paulo. The passengers, oh, well, stop watching stream. You should be, your shit should be in airplane mode. Lived for 5 hours, fell asleep, woke up and was sir. Yeah. Yeah, isn't that great? All right, plane is loaded. So let's do our stuff here. So we're going to sync the load sheet, sync the weather, calculate this, and I'm going to write all this down. Oh, I didn't write down the zero fuel weights. So let's see. We'll just do this real quick. 151 is V1, 154 is VR, 156 is V2. Flaps are going to be, okay, that's flaps 3. Down 0.3. Okay, that's certainly a choice. And then flex temp is going to be 67 degrees. And then we're going to come back over here. I have to do this. Zero fuel weight is 125.8. And the center of gravity is 31.2. So now we'll come over to the FMS. And we'll do flaps 3 with a trim down of 0.3. Or matter. Oh, does that have to be DN? Fucking, I hate this thing. Down 0.3. Flex temp is 67 degrees. V1 is 151. VR is 154. And V2 is 156. Then we're going to come over to the init page. Zero fuel weight is 125.8 with a center of gravity of 31.2. And our block fuel is 11.9. There we go. Murph does amazing VFR flights. Yeah, I would love to get in on him. I'm just like not around at the time that he does it. Okay, so that's all looking good here. I think we're pretty much ready to go. Let me just double check this, make sure all of this is looking good. Yeah, I think we're ready. So we do have to let them know when we're ready to push and start. So let's get some of this stuff called away here. What's my EFB thing? So ground services, we are gonna get the chocks and cones pulled away. We're gonna get the doors closed. The jet bridge should be done. Yeah, the jet bridge is gone. We're gonna get the tug hooked up and we're gonna get the music turned off. And then we are gonna come over here. We're gonna set our radios for the frequencies we know we need. So tower frequency is 118.2. Oh, whoops. 118.2. He's tried to call you a few times with no pressure. Who? The controller? I don't know why he would be trying to call me. He told me to call him when we're ready for push and start. And then approach is going to be 12055.
Okay, Luke, and DHL 860 ready for push and taxi.
DHL 860, you're clear to start and push tail to the right side. Report ready to taxi facing south, DHL 860.
All right, so Tug's hooked up.
All right, quick push tail.
The beacon light turned on.
DHL 860, thanks.
Oh, he actually DM'd me. I missed it. 3646 is the new squawk code. 3646. What are we at? Gate 44. Galileo ground. TAM 621. Gate 44. Requesting push and start with whiskey.
Well, it's 621, you're cleared to start and push tail to the right side on taxi Yankee 5. Report ready to taxi facing west, 621.
Okay, pushback approved. Facing to the west, tail to the right, and we'll call ready to taxi. TAM 621. Said taxiway Yankee 5. Let me see if I can figure out exactly where that is. Okay, that's the taxiway literally right behind me. So we're here. We're going to push back straight on a Yankee 5. Nice and simple. So let's come up over here. There ain't nobody around us, so let's get ourselves pushed back. So parking brake off. And we'll start the push, and we'll also start this timer right here. And away we go. All right, we'll start our turn here, and we'll start engine number 1. Ooh, can we get it on the line? What's up, James?
Tá pronto para o táxi, web 67
autorizado táxi.
Nope, started the push a little too late. It's all good. Straighten out right here. And then we'll just come to the left.
Ponto de espera da 90, reportarei webjet 67
PMDG 737 hates you. Uh-oh, what happened? Did it WASM crash on you? All right, so engine 1 is good. Let's get the parking brake on. Tug called away. And we'll fire up engine number 2. Bah! Thank you for the hydrate, Master B. There we go. Engine 2 coming to life. Figured out last night it did not want to land. I had to do about 2 go-arounds, then the throttle glitched out and broke. What it didn't? What do you mean it didn't want to land? Were you trying to auto land it? All right, engine 2 is good. So we're gonna come up here. Let's get the APU turned off. And we'll come down here. We'll do predict wind shear on, weather system 1 on, TCAS on, Auto brake, we're going to set to max. Everything up here looks fine. We're going to do a quick flight control check. We'll get the ignition sources off here. Flight controls. Let's see if this wants to give me a problem. So ailerons are good. Elevator's good. Oh. Hang on. The cord for the power supply was in the way. Let's try that again. There we go. Rudder's good. And speed brake's good. We're going to get the flap set to 3 because that's a choice. We have a company message. That's probably just going to be like, oh yeah, your shit's all loaded up. It's like, I know. I'm sitting right here.
3257, do you copy? Get on ground, 3257.
All right. So that's good. We're going to come up here. We're going to get the
3257,
dome light turned off, and then we'll turn the taxi light on. And we're going to call and get our taxi clearance.
3257, the Boeing 737 in front of you. We'll start its taxi. So follow the aircraft. Okay, sir. You are number 2 for takeoff. You're cleared to taxi to runway 10. Via taxiways Yankee.
You cleared him to take off already.
Kilo,
Jesus.
Mike, and the Papa. Just following the
It was mostly because the throttle glitched out, so it kept speeding up while I was trying to land. Oof. Happy Friday, Aleskis. Alright, let's see if I can get a clearance from this guy.
I gave it, and DHL 860 ready for taxi.
DHL 860, roger, standby. Break it, 3257, ready back, sir.
Oh, he's waiting for that guy to read it back.
Please repeat because you're coming broken. I understand Lima 2 Kilo, then Mike and Oscar for us following the traffic.
Got a -2 landing rate.
3257.
Well, showing off, why don't you?
Traffic and Lima 2, Kilo, Mike, and the Papa. Okay, sir?
No, not okay.
Mike and the
I don't like it.
Thank you for 3257.
That's correct. DHL 860, you're cleared to taxi to runway 10 via taxi Juliet, Foxtrot, Bravo, Lima 5, Yankee, Kilo,
spoilers not on?
Mike, and the Papa.
Nope,
Report for the short runway Juliet for crossing, DHL 860.
Alright, taxi runway 10.
Central and South America seem very... They are. They're really cool. I like flying in South America.
Papa, and we'll report holding short at Juliet for crossing DHL 860.
Sabe, a minha tecnologia chama agora Torre Galeão em 118.20, a gente voa até a nossa capital federal. Valeu, Felipe, pela presença mais uma vez. Um excelente evento. Até a próxima, 6726 da saudosa Abject.
Abraço pra você, bom fim de semana, 18-2. Até mais, Alan.
Valeu, depois dá uma checada se tá com o hot mic, tá? O microfone tá muito alto.
Eventually we'll get our clearance out of here.
Pra já, peraí.
Flare ground Tam 621, ready to taxi.
621, you're cleared to taxi to runway 10 via taxi Yankee 5, Yankee, Lima 2, Kilo, Mike, and the Papa. Report for the short runway 10 at 621.
Okay, runway 10 via Yankee 5, Yankee, Lima 2, Kilo, Mike, Papa will report holding short runway 10, Tam 621. Alright, so let's take a look at what this shit is. So we have Yankee 5, and then he said Yankee, and then Lima 2. Let me make it bigger. Lima 2, Kilo. Okay, so yeah, then Lima 2, and then Kilo's going to be right here. So that's going to bring us out right over here. Oops, so Lima 2, Kilo, and then Mike, and then Papa, right? Kilo, Mike, Papa, yeah. So got two different charts that we're going to have to reference here, one of which is going to give us the moving map, one of which is not. But going to be pretty straightforward, so let's get ourselves moving. So, parking brake off, and let's get going. My taxi instructions made me slightly insane. Yeah, this is kind of a weird airport to move around at.
Alfa transição em SOD, transponder 3653, cotejo TAM 3520.
Autorizado Brasilia, conforme 340, decola da 10, ajuste 1012. A saída e horário no Alfa com transições VATSIM, código 3653.
Então, 3522, planejamento corretíssimo, curso pronto para acionamento e pushback, 3522.
Samara.
Okay, ground.
And this is going to be
VTUBER
Yankee
holding
right
short.
here.
Runway 33 at Juliet.
Roger, are you able to...
I feel like the last FNO we did, we were at this airport, because I vividly remember this taxi.
Yep, no delay crossing DHLA.
But the last time we did it, we taxied Yankee all the way down to Lima 1, which is at the very opposite end of the ramp. But I vividly remember this taxi.
And we're clear to cross, and we'll report holding short 10 at DHLA 62.
I'm not sure if it was an FNO or if it was like a cross the land event that we did, or like a first wings.
A nave que chama Solo Galhão, repita a calçagem.
O Gol 2022, como recebe?
Recebo o senhor, comandante.
You're taxiing a little fast, so I'll slow down here a little bit.
4 para 5, mas a clareza é 2, está com muito abafado o seu microfone, comandante.
Estacionamento 3528.
3528 autorizado acionamento pushback, cauda direita, curso pronto para o táxi, com face voltada para noroeste, 3528.
Cauda direita, reportar para o
Alright,
táxi.
so this is... That's Lima 3, right? Yeah, that's Lima 3 right there. So I'm going to taxi down. So I'm kind of like on the wrong taxi lane here. Then come down this way. Yeah, this next one's going to be Lima 2. And then this first right is going to be Kilo. So we are clear left, and we are clear right. Looking good so far. That's somebody lined up to land right there. And then the first right is going to be Mike, and then the second left is going to be Papa.
Down 3257, contact now, Galleon Tower on 118, decimal 20. Have a nice flight and event. Bye-bye, 3257.
Oh, you know what I forgot to do? The radio on that side of the plane.
Down 3257, did you copy? We'll
make this turn here real quick, and then we'll jump over there and switch the radio real quick.
Contact now Galleon Tower on 118, decimal 20. Have a nice flight and event, down 3257.
119 decimal 0, thank you very much. Have a good night.
Alright, so... do that. Perfect. Trying to catch up. Yeah, this thing taxis kind of fast. It'll taxi up to like 40 knots if you let it. I usually let it get to about like 20 and then I hit the brakes. Alright, this first turn is Lima 1. But we don't want that, we want the second one. Yeah, Demetria, this is the Brasilia FNO. Come to Brazil FNO. I get it. Yeah, 30's a little fast to be taxiing. I think with jets like this, they taxi around like 15 knots. I think like they'll let it get up to 20, but like bigger jets, you're obviously not going to want to taxi at those speeds because then when it comes time to turn, you have to slow down to like pretty much nothing. Like with the 747 and the MD-11, You have to slow down. I think the max speed, with the MD-11, the max speed in a turn is 8 knots. So, I mean, there's no point in taxiing at 20 knots if you're going to have to slam on the brakes to get yourself to slow down again. So I try not to taxi fast with the MD-11 especially. A little scenery issue here, huh? Got the friggin' crater that took out the dinosaurs right there. All right, let's get some lights turned on here. So we have the runway turn-off lights can come on. We'll pull the landing lights out, but we're not going to turn them on just yet. Strobes can come on. Wing light's going to come on. And then we'll leave the nose light at taxi.
621, contact now, Galeon Tower on 118.20. Have a nice flight and leave at 621.
118.20, TAM 621. Thanks for all your help tonight. Galileo Tower, TAM 621, short 10 at Papa. Oh, great, a hot mic.
Gol 2022, chame controle Rio 120.9, correção 20.550.
050.
Galileo Tower, TAM 621, short 10 at Papa.
TAM 621, Galeon Tower, good night. Stand by. TAM 3257, wind 010 degrees, 8 knots, runway 10, clear for takeoff.
Wind 0, clear for takeoff, TAM 3257.
TAM 621, behind the departing company on runway 10, line up and wait behind.
All right, runway 10, line up and wait behind departing traffic, TAM 621. All right, so landing lights are going to come on. All right, boys. Who's ready?
American 57, vacating Foxtrot.
American 57, heavy contact ground, 121.65, bye-bye.
121.65, or 625, American 57 heavy.
American 57 is 121.65.
121.65. Thank you.
Come on, turn. There we go.
TAM 3257, contact Hill Control 120.550, bye-bye.
All right.
Control 120.2, good night.
Should be getting a takeoff clearance here in a second.
Gary on Tower, DHL 860, holding short, runway 10, ready for takeoff.
860, Galeon Tower, good night. Stand by.
Just weird that we have a flap setting of 3 on a 13,000 foot long runway.
TAM 61, wind 010 degrees, 8 knots, runway 10, clear for takeoff.
Runway 10, clear for takeoff, TAM 621. All right. Power 40%. That's more like 50, but sure. Flex. Airspeed's alive. Knots.
Galeon Tower, good evening. KLM 705 heavy, ILS runway 15.
B1.
KLM 705
Rotate.
heavy, Galeon Tower, good
B2.
night. Wind 010 degrees, 8 knots, runway 15, clear to land.
Runway 15, clear to land. KLM 705.
And positive climb. to readjust this webcam. I don't know what I did, but it got knocked back a little bit.
Lufthansa 80.
I'll wait on that though.
Lufthansa 860, line up and wait for runway 10.
Right, DHL 860 running up and wait.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay.
Tam 61, contact Rio Control 120.550, bye bye.
120.55, Tam 61, buenas noches. Wait, I'm in Brazil. Why did I just say it in Spanish? I'm a fucking idiot. All right, flaps 2. All right, so we'll go nose lights off, turn off lights off. Yeah, I'm gonna get canceled on Twitter tomorrow. That's what's about to happen. Flaps 1.
19er, flaps 9er, running ready, descent to 6,000,
And flaps up.
1012.
1012 and ready 6,000. 10, 19er, 59.
Down 3370, descend to flight level 090. You are passing a traffic below you on arrival. Lower traffic.
Speed brakes off.
Expect a laser descending clearance through the procedure.
Didn't know you speak Spanish. There's certain things I know in Spanish, but I'm in a country where they speak Portuguese.
Zero descent, flight level 100.
Descend flight level 100, Nevada 420.
Igual 552, controle São Paulo, 119.6, tem uma boa?
I'm gonna fix this
119,
camera real quick.
controle São Paulo, chamada Eagle 552. Boa noite, obrigado pela operação.
Nada, tchau, abraço.
I'm never gonna get a transmission out here.
257, hello sir. Real control, with the contact after the departure, climb maintain level 320, no restrictions.
820 unrestricted, time 82 by runway.
Igual 10 milhas down.
Eagle 550 no desce mantém.
I would like to let them know that I'm here.
Rio Control Delta 1981, request frequency change, fully established.
Delta 191, contact Canyon Tower, frequency 118.2 so long.
Leon 118.2, Delta 1981, see ya.
Departure Sam 621, passing 6,000.
Dan 61, hello sir, radio control, with the contact of departure, climb maintain level 280, no restrictions.
Unrestricted flight level 280, Tam 61. All right, so let's get these. This is really the only restriction that's gonna kind of mess me up here. So if I do, wait a minute, what did I do?
Descend to 8,000.
Oh, it's ILNIB, that's why. Oh.
12.
Don't worry about that in a second. Let me just get this established in the turn. Yeah, it's ILNIB that I want to get rid of at departure.
15 clear for the procedure.
No, that's not what. Okay. What is that? Why is it saying?
Recognize your hello sir, reconfirm Crocodile, descend to 6,400 feet to an H1012, expect the ILS.
Alright, I'm gonna set the autopilot here. So it's at low bum. Okay, that looked like a 9. That's why I got confused. I don't want to delete it. I just want to come in here and then delete that. There we go. Insert. Boom. There we go. All right, we're off to a great start. Speaking Spanish in a Portuguese-speaking country. Can't figure out how to delete a goddamn restriction. This is great.
Autorizado o RNP Zulu, pistão no 5, número 2, após...
Flawless, yeah, exactly.
Hotel Oscar Mike.
I'm not doing America any favors right now. We'll get some music playing here. Drown out my mistakes. And let's see. Let the terrain radar do its sweep. I don't think there's anything we have to worry about. I think we're pretty much above everything. Yeah, the lowest, well, the highest peak's at 7,000. We're at 11,000. Yeah, I'd say we're pretty good. So terrain radar is going to come off.
3780, vectors for approach, maintain flight level 090, maintain the current flight level, and flight right turn heading.
All right, boys, and we are on our way to Sao Paulo.
Maintain
So what time are we going to get there? Looks like 040.
And,
So that's in like 40 minutes.
Please confirm time 3780.
3780, flight heading 230.
Heading 230, time 3780.
American 904 vectors for approach.
So let's see if we get thrown in a holding pattern or not on our way to Sao Paulo. But I mean, that train that was heading there before looks like they've all pretty much arrived.
Level 100.
Level 100, American 906.
I think you just said Sao Paulo.
Sao Paulo. 3780, speed 210 knots.
Speed 210 knots, time 3780.
Sao Paulo.
American 906, speed 210 knots.
You can have speed 906.
Nomadic 420, descend to 6,300 feet, QNH 1012.
Down to 6,300, QNH 1012, Nomadic 420.
Down 3370, confirm will you be able to carry out the approach?
Not for me, sorry, we're still at 8,000.
Roger. 10370, maintain 8,000 vectors for any approach on right heading 270.
370 to the right and 8,000, cam 3370.
13780, continue right heading 270.
Let's see.
Right 270, time 3780.
American 906, continue right heading 260.
Right 260, 906.
Eagle 55 operando no controle de São Paulo, 119 decimal meia, uma boa chegada.
São Paulo, 196 graças.
Oh, 280. And then set to 290.
Curitiba Center, frequency 126, decimal 75, have a day.
What is that? Why is there a pink thing at Ilnev?
2022, estamos Centro Curitiba, 126, decimal 75, bom voo.
That's weird. Oh, is it because there's still the restriction is still in there? That's why. I was hoping you didn't notice what.
Gol 2022 controle. 2022 estamos Centro Curitiba, 126, decimal 75, bom voo.
The flight level 2. Well, I was gonna see it eventually.
Rear control BHL 860, 5,000.
BHL 860, hello sir. Rear control.
It's not something that just goes simply unnoticed.
No restrictions.
Up to 280, no restriction, thanks. BHL 860.
Especially being that I can see it right now. It's not like the Boeings where it's like all the way out over here. Oh, looks like it's a little turbulent. So it'll be a little bumpy on our way to Sao Paulo as we fly over the mountains.
1959 after Juliet clear for the RNP Lima, runway 0 to right.
Clear for the RNP Lima for 20 right at Duluth for 101959.
1959, runway 0 to right.
0 to right for 101959.
Only took 4 times to get through. Yeah, you know, it happens. It's all good. You're finally in the air. Hey, you're pretty much right behind us. Oh, you're in the 737. I thought for some reason you were flying the A300.
Climb to 3780, descend to
I see blinking lights.
300, turn left, heading
These are all planes coming in to land at Rio.
So we descend to 6,300 and turn left 090, time 3780.
American 902 left,
yeah,
180, descend to 7,000 feet, QNH 1012.
Whatever it's called, the Boeing converted
left
freighter.
180, 7,000, American 906.
Controle Rio, o Hotel Oscar Mike na longa final, pista no 5.
Fala, Hotel Oscar Mike, chama Torre Galeão 282, uma boa.
Torre 282, Papa Romeo Hotel Oscar Mike.
Nomadic 420, clear for the RNP Zulu, runway 15, descended via as in the chart.
Third RNP 15, Nomadic 420 via the chart.
Sun 3370, turn right, heading
Just wait, we should be getting a frequency change here relatively soon.
030, Sam, 3370.
Down 3370, descend to 6,000 feet.
Yeah, we should be getting switched off to Curitiba. Unless they're just going to keep us with... They might keep us with approach the whole way if they're going to keep us at 280. And we'll just go from Rio straight over to Sao Paulo. That's probably what's going to happen. That's probably why they were keeping the flights below. Because I filed for 340 and they said they're keeping flights at 280 going to Sao. That's probably why. To keep them in the controllers, like this controller's airspace.
Down 3370, amend your heading by heading 340.
Heading 340, stand 3370.
American 906, speed 200 knots.
Speed 200, American 906.
American 906, correct. Make left, heading 070.
Left 070, 906.
Honestly, I don't even know if we would have made it to 340. Look how long it's taken us to get up to friggin'. We're just passing 240.
On the final, Beechcraft Baron. Weight is 2 miles off the runway.
That was like that one flight that we did where we filed for, what was it? It was like 38,000 feet and we didn't even make it. We were like, yeah, we're not going to make it to our cruising altitude. We were already on top of the descent.
Slowing the final approach speed, pneumatic 420.
Down 3370, continue left, heading 290.
Left 290, stand 2370.
Forget what flight that was. That was another FNO flight that we were doing. Wasn't last week. I forget when it was.
Down 3780, descend to 4,500 feet.
Descend 4,500 at 3780.
American 906 on these headings, descend to 6,000 feet.
Present heading 6,000, American 906.
What time are we landing here? Let's see, because we can probably get the landing rate prediction opened up here pretty soon. So right now it's looking at like 041.
Good evening from
is that Spy?
Flight 441. Stopping our climb at flight level 190
yeah,
with
Spy.
information Bravo aboard.
Go 441, hello sir, Rio Control.
Yeah, let's get the landing rate prediction open here.
The R&D Foxtrot, runway 20 left.
So we'll get that started.
Descend to...
And that'll be up for 30 minutes. So for those of you that want to get in on the landing rate prediction, it'll be the purple window at the top of the chat. That's where you do it. And when we land, I'll show you what the landing rate is, so that way you know I'm not lying to you. So get your predictions in. You've got 30 minutes. And we do have an ATIS for Sao Paulo. So let's. Oh wait, no. GR is it's no SBGR. Yeah, that's Sao Paulo. So let's take a look at it here. So we have ATIS information. Charlie, winds are 360 at 10 knots. Ceiling and visibility okay. Temperature's 25. Dew point is 16. Altimeter is 1017. Departing runway 1 left, arrival runway 10 left, and arrival runway 10 right. Expect ILS Yankee, and advise you have information Charlie. So we've got the arrival that's already plugged in. Where is my FMS button? So used to the freaking Boeing. So let's get this ILS Yankee runway 10 right. And let's see, is there a transition? Let's take a look. So we have SBGR,
for the ILS approach runway.
ILS Yankee, so we have Loman. We're going to take a look at the arrival here in a minute, but yeah, so we can do Loman. The transition on the approach is Loman.
2,000 feet, and
okay, so that's looking
we're cleared
good.
for the visual.
Let's make sure this came in correctly. Looks like it did.
3780.
Correct, thank you. American 906.
So I think it's still showing about a 041 arrival time.
Expect vectors ILS 15 right, American 906.
Correct. You may descend now to 3,000 feet. 3,000, turn right, heading 120, clear for the ILS approach. Report stop, on ILS.
3000, right, 120, sport established, ILS 15.
I mean, it didn't say anything about what arrivals that they're doing.
Thank you very much. You are following traffic.
But we'll see.
27 miles.
I mean, this would really be the only arrival that makes sense for us to fly.
Have traffic inside 906.
Down 3370, speed 170 knots. Descend to 4,000 feet.
Speed 170 down to 4,000, Sam 3370.
Nomadic 420 on the missed approach.
Also, never doing DHL again. They keep calling me Lufthansa. Well, because Lufthansa is DLH, so it's very easy to get confused.
Runway 15. You may turn left, heading 330, climb, maintain 7,000.
Left turn.
Minimums for this ILS are so high. Yeah, it's because we're flying into like the mountains.
71959, contact Rio
The
Tower
airport elevation is like what, 2,500 feet? Yeah, 2,460. So I mean, yeah.
118.7 happy good day.
Swap 3 FedEx. Next, like, yeah, that's fair.
2 climbing to flight level 330.
Emirates 260, hello sir. Rear control, score cadence, climb maintain level 330.
Climb maintain flight level 330 and scorecard then Emirates 260.
Go 2505, Devo control, have good evening, VTU, climbing 230. Come 3780, contact Leon Tower, frequency 118, decimal 2, happy landing.
Rio Tower, 118.2, 3780, bye-bye.
So let's take a look at this arrival. Pretty straightforward. So we have SBGR, which is Guarulhos, Governor Andre Franco Montaro International Airport in Sao Paulo, Brazil. And this is going to be the Edmus 1 Alpha arrival, which is what we're planning for right now. Whether or not we're going to get that, not really sure, but this is going to be the only arrival that makes sense for us.
621, expect the Edmus 1 Alpha arrival to Sao Paulo, Brazil, runway 10 right.
Expect the Edmus 1 Alpha arrival, runway 10 right, Sao Paulo for TAM 621. There we go.
DHL 860.
So we have the altimeter is going to be set to hectopascals, which you already know is going to be 1017. Yeah, 1017. Transition level is going to be set by ATC, so we'll make sure we are on the lookout for that. That should be in the ATIS. It's not. Okay. We are RNAV1 equipped, and we have a GPS on board, so we're good there. So we are going to first fly to, is that the fix we're flying to right now? No, we're at a different fix. So we're going to fly to Edmus, Atterbelow, flight level 260. Then we're going to fly to Nibvo, then out to Pollup, Atterbelow, flight level 150. Then to GR284, at or above flight level 110. GR286 at or above flight level 110, GR283 at flight level 100, then GR287, then GR288 at or below flight level 85, then GR289 at or below 7,000, so our transition level is probably going to be either 7 or 8,000. And then from there we're going to fly to Loman, which is going to be our initial approach fix at or above 6,000 feet. Minimum sector altitude is 5,200 until we get past GR284, then it becomes 5,700. So just want to keep that in mind. But a pretty straightforward arrival for us to fly. But I'll leave this up on the screen for another minute or so in case anybody does have any questions. I'll just get some things set up in the plane here. I will do my landing performance data real quick.
That's Romeo 15, thanks.
So 10 right, it's going to be dry. We'll apply the METAR. Landing weight, I don't know what our landing weight's going to be. What's our weight right now? 133,800. Let's see. Landing rate prediction's already open, Dementia. Mods got to open their eyes. Our estimated landing weight is 131,692,000. So let's do 132,000.
Proceeding direct to DHL 860.
So 132,000. We'll do a medium brake since it's a high elevation airport. We'll do max reversers. So that's all looking fine. 1017 is the altimeter. Is there a standby on this? No, there's not. Okay.
Nomadic 420 left heading.
You're watching from an iPad? Well, that sounds like a skill issue. And we'll get the constraints turned on here.
Down 3370, you may switch as well to tower, frequency 118.2, Leon Tower. Have a good day, sir.
Everything is looking fine so far.
182 and Feliz San Abasario, TAM 3370.
Muito obrigado, senhor.
So we'll get the... What is it? It's the perf page, right? Yeah, it's the for the approach. So we'll get this open here. And then once we start our descent, we'll brief the ILS Yankee approach. A little calm before the storm here.
Number 420, descend to 5,000 feet.
See a plane.
Number 5,000.
I wonder if that's Spy. Because I know we heard him. He was flying the other way. Oh, hello. Rear control, TAM 621's approaching top of descent.
TAM 621, descend flight level 250.
Descent flight level 250, TAM 621. Alright, so we'll start the descent now. Maybe. Did I? Oh, you know what? Hang on a minute.
Heavy rear controls. Hello, sir.
I don't think I changed this.
Descend to level 100.
Yeah, I did not. 28. Yeah, that's why. There we go. Now it's going to start descending. We'll pull those open descent. I don't want to do an open descent. I want to do a profile descent. I just had the altitude set wrong. All right, so let's take a look at the approach here. What I'll do is I'll turn off the music too because it's going to start getting pretty busy here. So we have SBGR, Sao Paulo, Brazil, ILS Yankee, runway 10 right approach. We're going to tune our radios here in just a couple of minutes. We're going to verify the frequencies that we're going to be communicating on. Localizer frequency is 111.7 and the identifier is IGH. Inbound course is 95 degrees. Final approach fix is going to be at Opser, which we have to cross at 4,100 feet. ILS decision altitude is going to be 3,000 feet. Airport elevation is 2461. Runway elevation is 2451. We have our minimum sector altitudes that we had talked about before, so just reminding us right here. In the event we have to go missed, the missed approach is a climb to 6,000, maintain course 95 until 3,300, then turn right direct to the direct to Isumu for holding at a max speed of 230 knots. So again, climb to 6,000, maintain course 95 degrees until 3,300, then turn right direct to Isumu for holding at a max speed of 230 knots. So Loman right here is going to be the transition off the arrival. From there, we're going to fly to GR202, then to Luckbow, which is going to be our intermediate fix, which we want to cross at 4,500 feet, then turn inbound to intercept the localizer. Bring it on down to our runway. 4,500 at Luckbow, and then 4,100 at Opser. Don't want to descend below 4,100 feet until we catch the glide slope. And then we're going to ride that down to our decision altitude, which once again is 3,000 feet. RVR and visibility requirements are not going to apply. It's a clear, beautiful night. We're going to be looking for somewhere around, I would say, 700 feet per minute on the descent. Our approach speed is going to be somewhere around 130 knots. We're going to be looking for an LSAF-2 approach lighting system with PAPIs on both sides of the runway. And then the abbreviated missed approach again is a climb to 3,300 on course 95 degrees. Then once we get to 3,300 feet, we're going to turn right direct to Isumu up to 6,000 feet.
Just confirm our final destination.
So let's get this over here. 1017.
Repeat again.
And we have our winds are 360 at 10. Temperature is 25.
Okay, I see now. We programmed for...
and the minimums are 3,000 feet. And our approach speed is going to be 135 knots. Here comes our profile, but it's not going to matter because we're going to go down to 25,000 feet and then stop anyway. Let me get my radio set up with the frequencies I know I'm going to need. So we're going to need the tower frequency. So that's going to be 132.75. So 132.
Established 15, medic 40.
Medic 430, thank you very much. Contact the Leon Tower, frequency 118.2. Have a good day.
And then ground is going to be 1217.
Yeah. Yeah. Time 61, contact Sao Paulo control frequency 119.6. Have a good day.
119.6 times 621, so long. All right, so we'll come over here. It's going to be 1196.
Go to 515 airspeed.
American 317, descent fly level 150.
All right, here we go.
Oh, sorry, I forgot to update your tag. American 929, turn left, heading 080.
Left 030, American 929.
What's up, Durglet? I'm doing good. How are you?
I just confirmed 080.
From 080, American 929.
Roger, thank you.
Sao Paulo, time 621, flight level 250.
10621, hello, descent to flight level 120.
Send flight level 120, time 621.
10328.
We'll do this on an open descent here since we're above our profile.
Maintain 6,000 feet. I'll get you in the approach in about 2 minutes. Turn right, heading 350.
It's good, just getting hotter and hotter. I guess 90 something on Sunday. Yeah, it's been getting relatively warm here. Not that I'm complaining.
That's approved.
I like it warm.
3258.
Thank you.
Sao Paulo control, 247 at foot level 100.
347.
All right, so we got the plane set up for the approach. Once we get below 10,000, we'll start setting everything up for the arrival. Yeah, so we have all this done. So medium brake is what we're going to be using because it's a 9,800 foot long runway and it's 3,000 feet in elevation, or 2,500 feet in elevation. So play it safe. The nice city of Sao Paulo right there. So we're going to kind of come around it this way and then approach from the west.
2 aeronaves ao mesmo tempo, Gol 173 autorizado, decolagem pista 33, vento 020 graus, 6, meia dúzia de nós.
Autorizado a decolagem pela 33 em Campinas, do Gol 173.
American 929, it's okay because tablets on the local.
American 929, you're clear for the ILS, runway 10 right.
Alright. So not necessarily abiding by the restrictions on the star as far as the altitude restrictions because we were given a descent instruction. And we weren't, well, I guess we were, I don't know if we were cleared in the arrival or not, but in either case.
In English, sir, 347.
Oh.
No worries, 3347, continue descent to 6,000 feet, cleared ILS Victor, runway 3335 left.
Man, he just flat out said it.
6,000 feet, clear ILS Victor, 35 left, turn 3247.
Flight 85, can we contact Rio?
Controle de São Paulo, boa noite, Delta 3392.
Guarde, go 1040, contact Rio on 120.55.
120.55, go 1040.
Flight 85, contact Rio 12055.
Alright, 12055 tonight.
Tab 170, contact Rio 120.55.
The next frequency we're going to get is tower, so that's already plugged in radio 1. So that's 13275.
Cam 3258 back.
Thank you, 3258.
So I got about 15 minutes left in the landing rate prediction, so make sure you get your predictions in. Don't miss out on the nuggies.
Cam 3258.
6005, can we join the ILS for a moment?
No.
6005, A firm, you're cleared ILS Yankee, runway 10 right, bar established.
Report established, cleared ILS, runway, ILS Yankee, runway 10 right, Zulu 6005.
What's up, Jojo? Here to rig the landing rate prediction again.
103012, contact Brasilia 134.0.
134.0, time 3012.
American 317, descend to 6,000 feet, QNH 1018, clear direct to Sao Paulo.
Direct transfer down to 6,000.
Well, that looks like the airport right there.
Data Charlie Mike, mais 2 minutinhos, começou a organizar a frequência aqui.
Sim, a gente está aguardando Delta Charlie Mike.
São Paulo, autoriza direto loop to
6501 afirmo, está autorizado direto Lutpo e autorizado ILS 10 direita.
Lúcipo e ILS da 10 direito, liga.
Desculpa, volta 6501.
So hopefully we get another descent clearance here. Okay, so we're on profile now.
3258, clear direct to Loman, cleared ILS Yankee runway 10 right.
Direct Loman, clear ILS Yankee 10 right, United, or 10
Alright, so let's do medium brake. We can probably set the speed brake for right now.
Azul 4698, contact Curitiba Center on 126.
So we'll get the landing lights turned on. We're 10,000 AGL, and the wing light's going to come on.
126.75, Azul 4698. Thank you, sir. Thank you for the control. Have a good night. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Sorry for the delay on the ground. Brake, go 1173, radar contact, climb unrestricted to fly level 380.
Oh, look at all those planes on the ground. Someone just meowed, I didn't hear it. Yeah, I missed it.
3392, prossiga.
Tá na proa de Golf Romeo 258.
Yeah, it's active down there.
240.
Yeah, 2 planes right there. You have another one that's about to land. There's another one right there. 4th one coming off the ramp.
Victor Delta 1216.
Looks like there's one that just landed right there.
1216, aguarde. Azul 6005, turn left, heading 010.
Let's get the terrain radar on.
Left 010, 06005. Should we stop our descent for Azul 6005?
Affirm, climb to 6,000 feet.
Climb 6,000, Azul 6005, heading 010.
Pilot control DHL 860, flight level 200.
Oh, those 2 planes are like right next to each other.
Stand by, American 929, contact tower.
So these are the 2 planes that he was just talking to. That's terrifying. Do you think that's a conflict alert?
Casa 860, hello, descent to flight level 120.
Center 120, DHL 860.
American 929, contact tower 13275.
São Paulo, 01 tá na final no 0 direito.
6601 chama torre no 3275.
3275, tchau.
Hopefully we get a descent here.
Controle de São Paulo, boa noite. Chegou 551, no Uno passando 5.000 decoladas de
Can I study your frozen caveman? What? Can I study your frozen caveman? If I study it, we'll have a better idea of where you... What? What are you talking about?
300, igual 551.
São Paulo, controle Speedbird 600 de flight level 180.
Speedbird 98, descent to flight level 150.
Descend to flight level 150, Speedbird 98.
Então 3392, aguardando.
I don't know if we're going to get a descent in time.
2 aircraft at once again, guys, please. 103347, contact tower 12715.
12715, 103347.
Azul 6005, clear direct to Loman, cleared ILS, Yankee runway 10 right, apologies for the missed approach.
No problem. Can we get an initial heading for Loman?
Turn left, heading 240.
240 Lowman, cleared ILS runway, ILS Yankee, runway 10 right.
Sao Paulo, TAM 621, request descent.
621, descent flight level 100.
Flight level 100, TAM 621.
Botão 3392 está aguardando instruções.
3392.
I just don't want to be in a situation where they try to have me, because this has never happened before, where they try to have me intercept a localizer 10 miles out of 13,000 feet in the air.
3258, contact tower 13275.
3275, bye-bye, TAM 325.
Bye-bye, see ya.
Alright, so everything is set up. The only thing left for us to do is just to land the friggin' thing.
American 317, 2NH1018, cleared ILS Yankee runway 10 right.
Okay,
Oh.
Go 1048, contact Rio on 120.55.
120.55, go 104.
Intercept at a steep enough bank angle, you'll never have too much out. Yeah, but you'll have too much speed.
Go 117, go 1173, chama Brasilia no 1340. Go 1173.
Uh-oh. Somebody's not paying attention.
Papa Victor Delta 1216, sorry I missed your call sign. One 216, is that bad aviation?
Papa Victor Delta 126, não entendi o protegimento.
Perdão, Papa Victor Delta 1216, tá todo mundo em inglês aqui hoje, tá difícil. Continua a descida para o nível de voo 140.
There's no holding at Lowman.
Papa Victor Delta 1216, descida para o voo 140.
So we just transition right onto the approach after Lowman?
Martin Air 404, contact Brasilia 134.0, bye-bye.
134.0, come on, 404, thanks for the help, bye-bye.
Thank you, see ya. 621, continue descent to 6,000 feet, QNH 1018.
Alright, descent 6,000, QNH 1018, TAM 621. Stupid things are not linked for some reason. Let me see if I can do that real quick. You think it would just, they have to do it on every single stupid plane. So it's under...
Dow 860,
no, it is under
continue
settings, right? And then it's
to
under
flight level 120 and expect LS Yankee run 0 right.
Alright, continuing descent 120, expect the LS Yankee 10 red.
Yeah, there we go, linked. Perfect. Alright, let's do a quick briefing of the approach again. So I'm going to check the localizer frequency and the rad nav. 111.7, IGH is the frequency, course is 95 degrees. Final approach fixes at Osper, which we have to cross at 4,100 feet. Decision altitude is 3,000. In the event we have to go miss, it's a climb to 6,000, maintain course 95 until 3,300, then turn right, direct to Asumu for holding at a max speed of 230 knots. Altitude restriction at Lowman is 6,000, GR202 5100, Lutbo at 4,500.
621, cleared ILS Yankee, runway 10 right.
Cleared ILS Yankee 10 right, TAM 621. Alright, so I'm going to bring this altitude down to 4,000.
Continue direct to Sampa, descent to 6,000 feet, QNH 1018.
Alright, so we are cleared for the approach. Let's see, what is my deviation here? Okay, so it is starting to come back. What I'm going to do is I'm going to... No, actually, what I'll do is I'll go flight path angle, or not, vertical speed mode. We'll get the landing bugs turned on because I don't want it to slow down too much.
Level 230 for 150.
But we get to the decel point, I will
8139,
pull the speed brake out.
Continue descent to flight level 140.
Continue descent level 140, town A139.
just to try and get us down here.
Papa Serra Delta Charlie Mike.
Papa Serra Delta Charlie Mike na escuta.
Perdão pela demora, Delta Charlie Mike, faz mais de meia hora que você está esperando aí. Tá absolutamente cheia, é a primeira folga que eu tenho. Tá autorizado.
We'll wait till we get this back on the profile.
Para confins. Mantenha a altitude dos corredores inicialmente, troca IFR.
Back on profile, we'll bring the speed brake back in.
3764, Marte opera a pista 30.
You're speeding up, don't speed up.
QNH 1017.
Ciente, está autorizado com fins, plano Zulu.
Why are you speeding up?
30, circuito de tráfego conforme carta, portão Cometa, mantém a altitude da réia até o portão Palmeiras, faz a transição para instrumento transponder 3764 Delta Charlie Mike.
Delta Charlie Mike, detalhamento correto, chama pronto pro, perdão,
Alright, so we're below the glide slope right now, so that's good. I would like to start getting some fucking flaps out. We'll bring the gear down, because this plane is a fucking piece of garbage.
American 317, contact tower 132 south on
Can't think of a faster way to slow a plane down than to drop all 3 gear.
10621, contact tower 132.75.
132.75, TAM 621.
3392.
Flaps 1.
Welcome to Guadalupe Ground, G36 an hour, FCTR left, taxi Bravo Bravo, and...
Alright, flaps 2. We'll just walk the flaps out. We'll start getting these lights turned on here.
American 317, clear to 910 right, Canadian 018, wind 350 degrees direct on.
Alright. And flaps full. Tower TAM 621, ILS Yankee 10 right.
The 621, standing by, waiting, runway vector, continue approach, Canadian 80, break, Piazza 6005, standing by before holding point.
0605,
oh, what the fuck?
Short of runway 10 left.
At 0605, cross runway 10 left, see the other.
Oh, I didn't arm the approach mode.
Ladders ground 121.7.
Alright, cross runway 10 left and ground 121.7 for 06005.
American 317, F6 left, Chung Bravo Bravo, clear cross runway 10 left.
Left, Bravo Bravo.
1000.
We are configured.
The 621 runway 10 left, 10 right, wind is 350 degrees right, not Canadian 018.
Runway 10 right, clear to land, TAM 621.
100 above, 500.
That guy's coming in kind of low.
American 317,
Landing.
American 317, cross runway 10 left, weather, China paper, weather tower, weather ground, 120 mountain, break. American 107, contact Sao Paulo approach, 119 to the line.
Terrain. Pull up.
Tower, American 107, will you hold it short runway 10 left? Line up and wait, American
20, retard, 5.
Auto brakes deployed, reversers out. Alright, below 80 knots, reversers in. Auto brake off. We'll take the next left-hand turn here. It's a high-speed turn off. We'll keep the speed up a little bit.
American 267, clear takeoff runway 10 left, wind 350 degrees, 08 knots, Canadian 0.
Alright.
Clear for takeoff, 10 left, American.
We'll start getting some of these lights turned off.
C21, standby. Stay before the holding point, runway 10 left to Bravo.
All right, hold short, runway 10 left, Ham 621. Yeah, I heard him clear somebody to take off, so. That makes sense. We'll get the APU turned on here. 1000, 1000, 1000. And that traffic is going to be for the plane that is currently taking off. There he is. Damn.
Line up and wait.
Big old plane.
10 left,
621 clear across runway 10 left, jet to the other side. Other side, on Lima, contact ground 117.
Okay, cross 10 left, ground on the other side, 121.7, Tam 621. I probably should have left the landing lights, like, out. It's fine. 21.7.
Air 4001, you just can follow the Embraer 190 ahead of you, go straight ahead, left turn on Sierra, right turn on Golf, hold short runway 10 right, before ready to cross.
Follow the Embraer left here to holding point Golf, and we'll report when we're ready to cross.
It's like a new 777-200. Ground, good evening, Tam 621 on Lima for the ramp.
621, what it is ground, welcome to Sao Paulo, continue taxi straight ahead on Lima, left turn on Alpha, right turn on Kilo, stand 601.
Okay, continue on Lima, be a left on Alpha, right on Lima to stand 601, Tam 621, thank you.
Thank you.
So it'll be number, shit, that's what, ramp 6, I have to figure out. Here we go. So stand 601, that's going to be the very first stand. So we are going to taxi in right here on Alpha, Kilo, and then stand 601 is going to be this very first stand right here. So the only thing that kind of sucks is that there's no, I don't think there's any buildings that are modeled there. I think I flew out of this airport the other day. And there's no, like, building that's there. It's just, like, not modeled. But we'll see. Let's get the terrain radar off. Kind of curious as to what that landing rate is. I want to say it's going to be around, like, 250. And I only say that because, like, it was, you know, we landed a lot faster than we usually do because it's a higher elevation airport. So I'm going to guess, like, somewhere around 250. Let's get the music turned back on here. Right here on Kilo, and then, yeah, stand 601 is going to be right over here. Oh, there is a gate there. Okay. Well, there's a United jet right there. Yeah, that's stand 601 right here, so let's take that. Is it that one? Yeah. All right, so it was a little too far to the left. So we'll turn the nose light off so we don't blind the ramp people that aren't there.
Alô, buenas, o Papa Romeo Fox Serra Zulu.
Fox Serra Zulu, Torre, os salvaguardadores, boa noite, prossiga.
Boa, o Fox Serra Zulu tá... É assinado a critério, solicita táxi.
Alright, stop right here. Parking brake's gonna come on. Let me get the radio turned down here. So then we'll come over here. We're gonna get the dome light turned on. APU bleed's gonna come on. The engines are stable. Both of those are gonna come off. And then we'll stop the chronometer. We'll reset that one as well. Below 40% on the N2s. The beacon light's going to come off. Come over here. We'll start deboarding. Beautiful. So that's going to come off. We'll get that turned off. All right. Let's do our landing rate prediction. So I didn't miss anything, right? Everything looks good. Everything is shut down. Yeah, everything is good. All right. Are you guys ready? In 3, 2, 1. Ooh. Minus 171, really? I felt a little bit firmer than that. I mean, I'm not going to argue it. I'll take my dubs where I can get them. So minus 171. So let's see who the winners are. I know it's not going to be JoJo. Oh, whoops. It didn't do the backslash. All right, cool. So that's going to be between, what is that, 150 and 200? It doesn't look like anybody won. Yeah, no winners. RIP. Nobody wins. I think it's been a while since we've had no winners, hasn't it? RIP. Everybody loses, the house wins. Finally, I win my own prediction. Okay, so let's, let me get the TCAS turned off so it doesn't, like, throw a fit. Cool. Alright, so we'll get this plane turned around, and then we're gonna fly it out to Brasilia. So I think it's gonna be a little bit longer of a flight to get to Brasilia than it was to get to here. So let's do this. Let's take a quick, like, maybe like a 5-minute break. I'm just gonna go refill my water bottle, hit the restroom real quick, and then we'll get this plane turned around. But yeah, let's take a quick 5-minute break. If you guys want to get up, get something to eat, something to drink, use the restroom, whatever the case is, feel free. Now is the time to do it. So in 5 minutes, we will come back, and then we will continue on our flight out to Brasilia. So we will be right back.
O Gol 1608 está pronto para o táxi.
Gol 1608 autorizado táxi, ponto de espera da 10 esquerda, segue via Yankee 3, Hotel Alfa Golf. Gol 1608.
Autorizado táxi até o ponto de espera da esquerda via Yankee 3, Hotel Alfa Golf.
And DHL 860 goes to ground.
DHL 860, right, taxi
DHL 860, welcome back. Straight ahead on Lima, left turn on Alpha, all the way down to Yankee 1, stand 105 left.
Alright, straight ahead, then left onto Alpha, up or down to Yankee 1 and 0, DHL 860.
Suspect 105.
105, taxi, DHL 860.
Thank you.
Ground speed and ready for taxi to working.
Speedbird 908, quality ground break. We need to just confirm your position, please.
Holding short November.
There you are. Speedbird 98, welcome to Sao Paulo. Let's continue taxi straight ahead on November, left turn on Alpha, right turn on Kilo, stand 603.
Left on Alpha, right on Kilo, stand 603, Speedbird 98.
Thank you.
All right, we are back. Tower made me want to die. Uh-oh, what happened? What did Tower do to you? Show me on the doll where the tower touched you. All right, so let's do, oh, we got to do this stupid thing. More company messages. Okay, so let's see. We're going to have 2 of them for the arrival because you got to remind me twice that I arrived. Like, I know I arrived. I mean, I'm here. I arrived. I'm pretty sure I'm not hallucinating. All right, so let's get this flight plan filed. We'll turn this plane around. We'll head up to Brasilia. So we are going to still be TAM 621. Departure is going to be Sao Paulo. And our arrival is going to be Brasilia. Alternate, we're going to leave it auto. What time is it right now? It's probably, what, 0:50? Yeah, it's 0:50. Let's do 01:30 as our departure time. And we'll still be in the air. What? That's the Neo. I don't want the Neo. I just want the basic A320. It's going to be the Fenix with the international engines. Taxi out time will still do 45 minutes. It's an FNO. We may have a delay. We may not. Don't really know yet, but we'll figure it out. Scheduled block time is 1 hour and 50. Departure runway is 10 left. Arrival is 11 left. Altitude, passengers, freight, payload, 0 fuel weight. We'll leave all of those at auto. And we're going to do generate flight. And we'll read the route on the next page here. Got a taxi in first. Oh, boy. So flight number call sign is TAM 621. Departure is Sao Paulo. Arrival is Brasilia. Alternate is... Oh, my God. That. SBCF. What is that? Tancredo SBCF. Let's make sure that's suitable. SBCF. Whoops, that's not what I want. I was looking for the airport chart. There it is. So an 11,800 foot long runway, 2,800 feet in elevation. Got a little terminal. Yeah, I'd say it's a suitable alternate for us. So we have departure date is going to be May 10th at 01:30 UTC. Airtime is 1 hour and 16 minutes. Block time is 2 hours and 11 minutes. Altitude is 37,000 feet. Cruise profile is 60. Average winds are 299 degrees at 8 knots. So a little bit of a kind of ish tailwind. Sort of, yeah. Nothing crazy, but it'll push us along a little bit. Block fuel is 18,086 pounds, and en route fuel is 7,435 pounds. 132 people on board the plane with 4,155 pounds of cargo. 0 fuel weight is 124 over 134. Takeoff weight is 141 over 162. And our landing weight is 134 over 142. Route of flight, we're going to take off out of Sao Paulo right now on 10 left. Cruising speed is 461 knots at a cruising altitude of flight level 370. We're going to fly the LU2 Alpha departure through the UKBEB transition. Then we're going to hop on UZ26 to Azoic. And then it's going to be the Aero 1 Alpha arrival into Brasilia. Right now, landing on runway 11 left. Minimum takeoff fuel is 16,943, which is 3 hours worth of fuel. Of that, 1,459 of it's going to be some contingency fuel. 4,979 is going to be enough fuel for us to divert out to our alternate. Plus an additional, let's call this 3,200 pounds in reserve fuel. And then, of course, our block fuel is 18,086 pounds. All that looks good. We're going to pre-file this on the network. So TAM 621, flight rules are IFR, aircraft's the A320, weight class category is medium, equipment and transponder codes look good, departure is fine, arrival looks good, off block time is fine, the alternate airport is good, altitude is 37,000, time and route looks good, airspeed is 461, fuel endurance is 3 hours. Then our route details, they took out the departure and the arrival again, but it's fine because ATC is going to tell us what we're going to be doing. So we have to UKBEV, UZ26 to Azoic. And then we're going to do our little VATSIM 101 shameless plug once again, because why not? And we'll let that marinate with air traffic control here. And while that's happening, let's come on over to the plane. We're going to start getting everything loaded up. So we'll import the next flight. Come over to our mass and balance, and we're going to load the aircraft. That's going to take about 20 minutes. And while that's happening, we'll just... kind of hang out here. We'll get the constraints in there, and then we'll start initializing the FMS. So we're going to go from SBGR to SBBR. Flight number is going to be TAM 621. Cost index is 60. And our cruising flight level is 370. We'll bid on the ACARS flight, so that way I don't forget. So it's going to be a little bit longer of a flight this go around, which is fine. Still should be able to land before the event is officially over. So we're going to be flying the A320. We'll bid on that flight. Boom. That looks good. And the ACARS is started, so that's fine. Yeah, so we'll give this a couple of minutes, and then we'll give the controller a call, and we'll get our clearance. Let's see, yeah. Cool. Let me take a sip of my drink here real quick. So for those of you that may be joining us here for the first time, tonight's a little bit different than how we normally do things. Usually we do what we call VATSIM 101. And how it normally works is I take you through a flight in VATSIM, break things down nice and slowly as we go through it, and answer any questions that you have along the way. Tonight we're getting into one of the FNOs, or Friday Night Ops, which are big chaotic events that VATSIM puts on for their community. And because of how chaotic these events get, it's less time for me to be able to explain things as they're happening, and more of me just showing you what VATSIM looks like in some of these bigger events. So we'll certainly break things down as I can. And, you know, of course, the chat is always open for any questions that you have. So if there are any questions about anything that's going on, you can feel free to pop them on in the chat, and we can certainly help you out. So let's take a look at the ATIS here. So SBGR, so it's information Delta at 000 Zulu. Winds are 010 at 8 knots. Ceiling and visibility are okay. Temperature is 25. Dew point is 16. Altimeter is 1018. Departing runway 10 left. Arriving runway 10 right. Expect ILS Yankee. And advise you of information Delta. I need you to hold my paw, like right now. Let's see. Let's see if we can get a clearance from these dudes. Let's turn the radio back up here. Yeah, we're at stand 106. Oh, there's a delivery controller. Let me get the delivery controller up. So that's 121.
Ground one up, Sammy 139, and we're on Lima. We just crossed 10 left.
8139, Welders ground, very good evening.
Hello, gross clearance, right, copy.
You're gonna become a furry VTuber. Oh boy.
Ready to copy.
What are you gonna be?
Stand 3553, clear to...
Unironically, you can just start with a Rex.
50 Dennis out, runway 10 left. Departure Ecopo 1 Alpha, neighbor transitions, cover 3757.
Town 3553 is clear to destination, flight 250 is filed, runway 10 left, Ecopo 1 Alpha. Departure, the neighbor transition, squawk 3757.
Stand 3553, Rebex, correct, contact ground in 120.7.
Right, let's see if we can, yeah, I don't think he's doing PDCs. Delivery, good evening. TAM 621, stand 601 with Delta, requesting IFR up to Brasilia.
TAM 61, hello, where's clearance, ready to copy?
We are ready to copy, TAM 61.
TAM 61, you clear to Brasilia, flight 370, Dana Files, runway 10 left, departure Enzo 5 Alpha, UQF transition, squawk 3646.
646. What was that departure? No, I missed it. Alright, we are cleared to Brasilia. Flight level 370 is filed. Runway 10 left. Missed the departure, but got the UQBEV transition. Squawk code is 3646, TAM 621.
TAM 61, departure is NVU 5 Alpha.
Who? Oh, I'm looking at the wrong airport. Hang on. Is it the same one that we have here? Anvil? Okay, sorry, that's the Anvil 5 Alpha. That's Alpha Mike Victor Uniform Lima 5 Alpha, TAM 621.
TAM 61, affirmative, contact Rex, correct, contact ground 121.7 for push and start, you.
Alright, ground 121.7 for push and start, TAM 621, thank you. Okay, so yeah, they switched up the departure on us. Let me import this flight plan here real quick. Does it cost money to be a VTuber? Yeah, because you have to commission, unless you know how to do it yourself. But even then, you still got to buy like the model. But I bought the model and then commissioned somebody to make the texture for it. So yeah, like then of course the VTuber Plus program cost money. It was like $5. But like the VC face thing, I think is free. I don't think I paid anything for that. What the hell was I doing? This here. So we're gonna go over here. We're gonna look at the Anvil 5 Alpha. Alright, so we have SBGR, which is that airport, and it's the Anvil 5 Alpha. Right off the bat, we have minimum climb gradients of 5% until Anvil, then 3.3%. So 5%, and we're just going to say 250 knots is going to be 1,300 feet per minute. That's not going to be a problem for the A320. And then 3.3% is going to be 835 feet per minute. So again, not going to be a problem for a plane like this. Elevation is 2461. Transition altitude is 8,000 feet. We have a GPS on board, and we are RNAV-1 equipped. Looks like upon departure, we're going to track 94 degrees out to Anvil. Then from Anvil, we're going to fly out to GR222 at or below flight level 100. Then we're going to fly to GR217 at or above flight level 100. Then we're going to fly to GR218. And then because our transition is over here at UKBEV, we're going to fly out to GR223 at or above flight level 180. Then out to GR224 at or above flight level 250. Then finally out to UKBEV. And then from there, we are going to proceed on our flight plan route. So that'll be nice and easy. So just remember that your blue numbers right here are going to be your altitude restrictions. And the way you read those is you look for where the altitude falls in reference to that line. So if the altitude is below the line, you have to be at or below that altitude. If the altitude is above that line, you have to be at or above it. So pretty straightforward. But I will leave this up on the screen for another minute or so, just in case there are any questions. Let me clear out some more of these goddamn company messages that I hate. Then we're going to do AOC menu receive messages. Yeah, it's just because of the load sheets. Yeah, so we're about halfway through loading the people up. I will get Volanta updated, though. I forgot to do that. Alright, so let's bring this back over here. And then we'll get this loaded into... You're switching to the longitude. Nice. 10 left. It's going to be the Anvil 5 Alpha through the UKBEV transition. We'll insert that in there. And then it's going to be as filed. So after UKBEV, it's going to be UZ26. And then we're going to fly that out to Azoic. Awesome. And then from there, we don't really know what arrival we're going to be flying yet. But if we take a look at this, we can probably figure out what's going to be the most practical for us. So, procedure. Let's see. So we have... Okay, so we have 2 runways. Probably going to be landing on 11 right. If I had to guess. Or it could be 11 left because it's a shorter runway. So if we do this, we're going to do procedures. We'll do... Okay, so the arrivals. Okay, so Azoic is either going to be the Airroll 1 Alpha. That's for 11 left. If it's for 11 right, still the 1 Alpha. And then if it's for 28 or 29 left or 29 right, it's going to be a completely different arrival. All right, so we'll figure that out once we get closer. Once we figure out what runway we're going to be landing on, we'll definitely be able to figure out what arrival we're going to be expecting. So that's nice and easy. Yeah, so we have 93 people on board, so we got another 40 to go. So we'll just kind of vibe here for a little bit. Let's see. Yeah, there's really nothing for us to do here. We didn't get an altitude restriction, but on the Anvil 5, let's do... There's no top altitude. I'll just do 10,000 for right now. If you have any questions, pop them in the chat. Yes, exactly. Any questions, throw them on in.
Clearance, November 47680.
All right, so I'm going to get ground and radio 1 here.
Hotel,
Tower is going to be 121.
Thank you.
No, 13275. So we'll get that plugged into the standby. And then departure. Okay, so that's going to be 119.6. So that's good. That's already in there. Very nice. Good. Cool. And looking good.
Actually, 103805.
21
I
people.
have the whole chart run the tax rate over the next one, please.
Hold short of golf time 3807.
I feel like there's something that I'm missing, but there's not. We're just waiting on everybody to get loaded in so we can do our departure numbers.
13275. Have a great flight to Rio. Take care.
But I can't get this set up, so we'll get that in here. And then, wait, that's landing.
3974 Guarulhos Tower, frequency 13275. Have a great flight to
sync
Rio.
the
Take
weather,
care.
and then we'll wait till everybody's on before we actually calculate that.
3974. Have a good night.
You too. Take care. 3807 behind the Airbus 319. Ahead of you, Tower 13275. Have a great flight. A great night. Take care.
Right behind the company Airbus, Tower 132.75, time 3807. Obrigado.
Thank you very much for the help today.
Hurry up. Good Lord. I'm saying hurry up like our departure time is not a half hour from now. But I mean, it'd probably take us about 15 minutes to taxi out to the runway. Maybe not as long. But if we account for like the pushback, it'd probably be about like 10 minutes. Maybe. I don't think it's too busy here right now. Let's see. There's a little bit of a queue. So there's 4 planes that are waiting right now. And then there's just us all out here by ourselves. Rip. It's fine, we got the whole ramp. Alright. So 6 more people and then we'll be good. You got the Anvil hot. You got the Anvil 5, but I don't have it. Did you update your navigation cycle? You did. Let's see. So it went into effect on November 22nd of 2024. Yeah, so it was just updated. Didn't scroll up. Ha! Yeah, that'll get you every time. Way to go, Chef Boyard, dumbass. Alright, aircraft is loaded. I am an idiot. Alright, so we have... Zero fuel weight is 124.5. Center of gravity is 32.3. We'll come over to our... Nope. You ever hit something that you didn't want? Yep, there we go. So we'll calculate this. V1 is 149. VR is 152. And V2 is 154. We're going to be taking off flaps 3 again. With a trim down of 0.3. Flex temp is 63 degrees.
United 148 contact Guarulhos.
Man, this is really a choice, huh?
13275. I have a great flight to
So V1 is 149. VR is 152. Whoops. 152.
You too, take care.
And then V2 is 154. Flaps are 3 with a trim and down of 0.3. And flex temp is 63 degrees. And then we're going to go to the Oh, wait a minute. I didn't put my alternate in here. Was it SBCF? Yeah, SBCF. SBCF. And then 124.5 and 32.3. Block fuel is 18.1. Much intelligence. And that's all looking good. Awesome. I think we're pretty much ready to go. All right. So, okay, the jet bridge is already pulled away. Very nice. We can get the chocks away. We have the parking brake is already on. So let's come over here. Chocks and cones out. GPU out. We're going to hook up the tug. And we'll get the music turned off here.
4760 at the north ramp, ready for push and start.
November
Beacon light coming on.
4760, wireless ground, very good evening. Clear to push and start facing west at taxiway Alpha, report ready to taxi.
Alright, clear to push facing west onto Alpha, and we'll call on rate taxi November 4760, thanks.
Alright. Ground, good evening, Tam. 621, stand 601 with Echo, requesting push and start.
621, wireless ground, very good evening. Clear to push and start facing south at Yankee 6, report ready to taxi.
And push and start facing south on Yankee 6, report ready to taxi, Tam 621. So very simple. We're just going to push back. We're going to face that direction. That direction is south. If we face to the north, that's not really going to be very productive because we're going to be taxiing out into a mountain. So would prefer not to do that. So let's get the parking brake off. And we'll get ourselves going. Come back into the plane here for a second, and we will start the timer.
Good evening, Gurus. Speedbird 167, stand 508. We are ready for our push and start.
All right, we'll fire up engine number 1.
Speedbird 1627, clear to push and start facing south at Yankee 5, report ready to taxi.
Facing south Yankee 5, we'll report taxi, Speedbird 167.
And that's going to be Yankee 6 right there. There goes somebody. You love that sound? Yeah. Yeah, the A320 does have the engines on it do sound pretty cool. I like the Internationals better than the CFMs. I'm just going to say it. All right, so engine 1 is good. We're going to fire up engine number 2. All right, so parking brake on, tug coming away. That's the generator kicking in. We'll let that stabilize. All right, so the igniters are going to come off. We're going to turn the APU off. Whoops, that's not what I wanted to do. This is all looking good. I'll just leave that at 10,000 for right now. Another damn company message. I really wish there was a way to disable these. Okay, so that's good. We'll get TCAS on. And then we'll do our flight control check.
Good evening. Go ahead, Captain.
So, aileron's good. Elevator's good. Rudders, speed brake's good. Flaps set to 3. And then trim is going to get set down to 0.3, which is like right about there. Arm the spoilers and the speed brake. This is going to come off. And we'll turn our taxi light on. Terrain radar on. Alright, and we are ready to go. Eating a burger. Eating a burger to Metro.
At runway 10 left, Alpha Golf, November 476.
Let's get our clearance here. Ground TAM 621 is ready to taxi.
621, clear to taxi, holding part 10 left via Yankee 6 Kilo Alpha Golf.
Runway 10 left via Yankee 6 Kilo Alpha Golf, TAM 621. So Kilo, so second right on Alpha, and then all the way down to the end. Very nice. All right, let's get ourselves going. I mean, I guess flaps 3 makes sense. We're at a high elevation airport. But still, it's like, I feel like we don't need to use flaps 3. But, you know, we'll do what the computer says. We don't want to die. Alright, so we are clear left. And we are clear right. Yeah, this is going to be Alpha right here. Sounds like Lone Paw is going to be right behind us again. We'll get this out to 10 miles. Looks like there's one plane on the runway already. I don't think there's anybody after him, though. It's just us. Ow, Darky! Oh, I didn't do the takeoff. Config check. There we go. It's nice. I don't have to spam that button anymore. Oh, look at that. We got an approach right there, and then we have another one right out over there. And then he'll switch us over to tower here soonish. We're going to end up getting a separation delay anyway, because that looks like it's a 777. Yeah, that is definitely a 777.
And 6 21, contact Guarulhos Tower now, frequency 13275. Have a great flight to Brasilia. Great night. Take care, cross.
Over to tower 132.75, TAM 621. Thanks for all your help tonight.
Thank you. Have a good one.
All right. So, we got these lights turned on. Somebody apparently knows me up in the tower. Let me just do that real quick. Well, could not have picked a worse time to do that. Oh, did I switch that over? Yeah. Tower TAM 621, short 10 left at Golf.
621, good evening. Butter the tower, line up and wait for me. 10 left, line up and wait.
10 left, line up and wait, TAM 621.
Tower Polar 61, heavy ILS 10, right?
All right, who's ready?
61, clear, line runway 10 right, wind G 030 degrees, 06 knots, connection 018.
Land 10 right, Polar 61 heavy.
And tower November 47680, holding short, runway 10 left.
Hey, you're right behind us.
Chart 7680, stand by, number 240 go.
Man, that does not look like a longitude. Somebody's got a hot mic. Alright, yeah, so it's, I think it's a 2-minute delay between a heavy and a medium. I might be wrong, but either way, it's going to be a little bit before we get our departure clearance here. Yeah, Sao Paulo is not as busy as I thought it was going to be. I guess the popular destination today was Brasilia. There's just a lot of people going. I think what it was, there was a lot of people that were flying out of Sao Paulo. There's a bunch of people that are flying to Rio. I just feel like a lot of these South American FNOs don't get as much love as the North American FNOs. I feel like a lot of people are afraid of South American airspace. Where me clearance?
621 clear, take off runway 10 left, wind 30 degrees, 06 knots, connection 018, after the call for approach 119.60, have a nice flight, bye bye.
119.60 airborne, and runway 10 left clear for takeoff, TAM 621. Alright, so power 40%. And flex. Airspeed's alive. Uh-oh. There we go. Throttles are acting up. Didn't want to recognize the zone. 100 knots.
Polar 61 Sao Paulo, around 24 an hour, runway, your left,
B1, rotate,
Cardi.
B2, maybe we did need flaps 3.
At the moment clear, to cross runway 10 left, and the other side,
alright, positive climb.
Water is ground 1.7.
You left Charlie, and then cross runway 10 right, and then ground 12 on, then over to ground to Polar 61.
Alright, so we'll get this switched over. And we'll go flaps 2. Departure TAM 621, passing 3,600.
Then 621, Sao Paulo control, hello, radar contact, climb unrestricted to fly level 370.
Climb unrestricted, flight level 370, TAM 621. Alright. Climb power.
Estabilidade no localizador da 3. 5 esquerda, o Eagle 554.
Alright, we'll start building up some airspeed here.
Eagle 554, chama a torre 127.
I want to make sure we maintain that climb gradient that we need, though. So that again was, I believe it was 1,300 feet per minute, which right now we're doing 1,800 feet per minute, so that's fine. Got to keep that up until we get to Anvil. Why would they be afraid of this airspace? Just because it's different. A lot of people are afraid of potential language barriers.
Then 3807, contact.
And South American airspace, like being active on VATSIM, is kind of like a, not like a new thing, but it's definitely a lot more active now than it used to be. Which is great to see, because I love flying in South America. Alright, we're going to go flaps up. But yeah, I don't know. I just feel like the South American events don't get nearly as much attention as North American, as far as FNOs, and then just like the events in general. Like even when you compare it to like the European events, because they do have some really cool events here in South America. Like every Friday they do the what is it, the Sao Paulo Air Bridge or the Rio Air Bridge, which is like this area that we're flying in right now. I think it's between Sao Paulo and Brasilia. But we don't usually fly it because that's when the FNOs are. Then we'll pitch up here. So we're past our transition altitude, so we'll put the altimeters to standard pressure. We'll throw the autopilot on. Just flying in a straight line at this rate.
Valeu, até mais.
We'll get this zoomed out a little bit. Gonna make a nice left-hand turn.
Sao Paulo departure, number 47680, crossing 5,000.
Not passing 10,000, but we're still below 10,000 AGL, so we'll leave the landing lights on. We'll still go sterile cockpit. We'll wait till we get to about 12,000. Oh, I can disarm the spoilers.
November 47680, Sao Paulo control, hello, radar contact, climb unrestricted to fly level 400.
Unrestricted climb to 400, 47680.
Oh, I didn't start the chronometer. Oh, well. We don't need it. And then, yeah, so we're unrestricted up to our cruising altitude. Not that there's really any other restrictions anyway. There's just at and above restrictions. We don't have any altitudes that we would have to stay below. Alright, so we'll get the landing lights turned off. Wing light's gonna come off, and the music is gonna come on. Alright. And on our way to Brasilia. And thank you for that hydrate, Dementia. Let me take care of that. Your plane's on flight hour 88, 88.8. Oh my god. That's a lot of hours for a Bravo. That is a lot of hours. Let's see. So our arrival time is going to be 0300. So that's about, what is that, an hour and a half from now? Yeah. I'm sure that time will come down as we get higher in altitude. So yeah, we're going to be ending at what our usual stream end time is. That'll be around 11 o'clock. Since 1978. Man, it's a long time. Yeah, almost 9,000 hours. That's a lot for a corporate jet. Like, you know, for an airliner, that's, well, even for an airliner, that's, like, kind of a lot. But, like, not really. Because of how much those things fly. Because those things fly every day. May 8,800 hours. She's been through some stuff. Sorry, I was just looking at something off screen for a second. For an airline, should be more like 3 or 4 times my... Yeah. Yeah, I'm about to say, like, usually, like, airliners, when they pull them out of service, they have, what, close to, like, 50,000 hours on them? They usually see, what, like 10,000 hours a year or something?
Gol no 099, controle de São Paulo, muito boa. Continua a descida via Ibidal 1 Alfa para minha best KNH 1018. Correção, KNH 1019 agora.
Restrictions turned off here.
Victor 35 esquerda.
What do you mean? Well, I'm talking about like airframe hours. Like airliners, they usually get retired at what, like 50,000? And then they usually, like airliners, I think the average airliner, it's somewhere, but it's something like 10,000 hours a year.
Sao Paulo approach, good evening, Atom Express 4401 Heavy.
It's something like that. I remember learning about
flight
it in
level
school.
190 descending via the Brau 1 Alpha to flight level 180. Atom X 4401 Sao Paulo Control, hello, continue descent to flight level 140. Descend to flight level 140, Atom Express 4401.
Should be, yeah.
Contact Brasilia Center on 134.00, bye-bye.
Good evening, Sao Paulo, British Airways 1627, review.
Speedbird 1627, Sao Paulo Control, hello. Radar contact, climb unrestricted to flight level 250.
All right.
Unrestricted to 250.
So we should be getting switched over to Brasilia Center here in a little bit. But I'm not sure what altitude this guy controls to, and we're kind of climbing slowly, so. Goodbye, Sao Paulo.
Good evening, Sao Paulo Control. This is Lufthansa 875 descending 270
yeah, and it's nice and calm between here and Brasilia.
3875, hello. Continue to descend by the animals 1 hour.
So yeah, not a whole lot going on up there. Back, Rogue.
Continue descent to flight level 120 by the Edmund 1 Alpha arrival.
So yeah. A little bit busier starting out than it was, you know, now. Ow.
November 47680, contact Brasilia Center on 134.0. Bye-bye.
Rogue.
1340, November 47680, thanks.
Alright. Yeah, so top of climb is going to be at Ismob. And then our top of descent's not, obviously not going to be for a while. So we're still looking at an 0300 arrival time. So yeah, going to be about an hour and a half. I think our airtime was what, like an hour and 30? Oh, is that, it says an hour and 16 is our airtime. So looks like that might be a little off. But then again, we'll see, because we're getting a 20 knot headwind right now, so our ground speed's kind of slow. As we get higher, we'll see what that turns into. And then this is going to turn into like more of a tailwind than anything else. So maybe we'll shave off like 10 minutes. Doesn't matter though. We're here for a good time and a long time, apparently. And then when we get a little bit closer to Brasilia, we'll get the ATIS, we'll see what they're doing. And then we'll be good to go. I don't want to be here for a long time. Yeah, well, you know. Oh, you know what? I just remembered we can get the ATIS through the plane on this. Well, yeah, you have to be here for a long time, Rogue. That's the rules. So we're going to do SBBR. I forgot I could do this. And we're going to send that. Oh, do I have to do arrival? Yeah. There we go. Boom. So now we'll wait for that.
Departure, Boliviana 1104, good evening.
Since when do I follow rules? Good point. Good point. I think the answer to that is never.
Was that Boliviana 1104?
Boliviana 1104, good evening, sir.
Boliviana 1104, Sao Paulo Control, hello. Radar contact, climb unrestricted to flight level 350.
Let's see.
Climb for
trying to think if there's anything that we can go through right now, but it does not. Yeah, like there's kind of like nothing. But if it stays this calm for the remainder of the flight, we may be able to break down the arrival a little bit more than what we did. Did he not pass you off yet? I don't think so. Did he pass you off? I may have missed a handoff. Sao Paulo TAM 621. Did we miss a handoff?
That's 621. Go ahead.
Yeah, did we miss a handoff, or are we still supposed to be with you?
I did transfer you to Brasilia Center 1340. You're still technically inside my airspace, but it's close enough. You can contact Brasilia 1340.
All right, 1384.0. I'll make sure to clean out my ears next time. TAM 621. Thanks for all your help.
No worries. My TMA ends at 245, so it's pretty high. That's fine.
All right. So let's do 134.0, and we'll give him a call.
November 99922 Juliet, cross at Unox at flight level 210.
Brasilia, TAM 621, flight level 288, climbing flight level 370.
Atom 621, roger, climb flight level 370.
370, TAM 621.
November 99922 Juliet.
99922, is that his 999? Oh, 99922 Juliet, that's a tail number.
November
901, continue down, I'm down on the descent.
Kiran 791, continue descend, flight level 180.
And it's going to take us all day to get to 370. Look at this climb. Look at this climb. 1,600 feet per minute. Look at this.
Good evening.
Look at this. This is great. This thing performs so well on the ground, and then it gets in the air, and it's like, nope.
Vunox at flight level 210.
Cross Vunox at flight level 210, TAM 3262.
November 9922 Juliet.
22 Juliet, wake up. Okay. Oh, it's still a headwind? Really? Alright, maybe my math is not mathing. Maybe I don't know how to add. I thought it was going to be more of like a tailwind. I guess not. Rip. Yeah, the winds are a little bit... The winds are a little bit stronger than what they were predicted at, so that's why it's going to take us a little bit longer.
November 992 Juliet. Sorry, we thought you heard that you were logged off to switch to Unicom. The switch back.
Rip.
November 992 Juliet, continue descend flight level 180.
Descent 180, sorry about that again, November 992 Juliet.
Alright. Let's see. So, let's see. A Zoic is. Let's see if we can find out when we're gonna get there. So a Zoic at 0216. Say it's like a half hour from now. I guess we're not gonna get that ATIS to come back.
Papa Romeo Fox Serra Zulu.
Let me try one more time.
Desce 6.000 pés, ajuste no 021.
Or did it come through and I just missed it? Let's see. So received messages. Oh, it did. That's it. Usually it comes up with a company message right here. All right. All right, let's see what we got. So we have Brasilia information echo at 0100 Zulu. Winds are calm. Ceiling and visibility is okay. QNH is 1021. Temperature is 21. Dew point is 17. Transition level is 75. Arrival runway 11 left and 11 right. Departure runway 11 right, so I'm going to anticipate 11 left being our arrival. Expect approach ILS. Advise on initial contact. You have information echo. All right, cool. So now that we know that we're going to be landing runway 11 either left or right, it is going to be the Arula 1 Alpha arrival. So we'll get it set up for runway 1 left for right now. I'm just going to do that in the FMS here real quick, and then we'll take a look at the arrival. So we have a couple of different ILSs that we can fly. So there's a Yankee, a Whiskey, and a Uniform, and then for 11 right, there's a Zulu, an X-Ray, a Victor, and a Tango. So let's do this. Christian, thank you for that follow. Welcome aboard. Let's just do 11 left, just the runway, and then we'll put the arrival in. There's 17 different approaches that we can do. So it'll be from a Zoic, enter. Perfect. Oh, look at that. Now the time has just come back dramatically. Okay, so it's going to be about an hour until we land. I wonder why it was, yeah, I wonder how that took off 15 minutes from our flight. Whatever. Is what it is.
Brasilia Center, hello, goal 1764, climbing flight level 221, flight level 370.
Ego 1764, Brasilia Center, good evening, radar contact, climb flight level 370.
Climb flight level 370, goal 1764, thank you.
Brasília, o Papa Serra da Charlie Mike está estabilizado na final da pista no meia.
Are we at our top of climb yet? Jesus Christ, Airbus.
O Papa Serra Delta Charlie Mike.
You know what doesn't take this long to climb up to 370? Literally any Boeing that I fly. Ooh.
Tudo autorizado, pista no meia, Delta Charlie Mike.
At 3262, continue descent, flight level 180.
Continue descent 180, TAM 3262.
And 3262, contact Sao Paulo approach 119.6.
19.6 for TAM 3262, good night.
We have that, and our top of the descent is not for another 250 miles. So that's going to be, what, like a half hour from now ish?
TAM 3316, monitor Unicorn 122.8. Have a nice flight, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
122.8.
I'm not going to say goodnight in any other language other than English. I am not making that mistake again. If anybody ever finds out that I did that. .24 nautical miles behind you, slowly catching up. What's your speed? I'm at Mach 0.78. I don't know what your cruise missile flies at. So you're 473 on the ground speed. Oh yeah, you're like 20 knots faster than us. So you're what? You're probably like what? Mach 0.8, 0.81. .84, damn. I didn't think the differences in Mach were that subtle. Well, yeah, I guess. Because like at Mach, if I was doing Mach 7.9, I'd probably be somewhere around like 460 knots.
Centro Brasilia, uma boa, é o Gol 1722.
So my true airspeed is slower than it should be.
Go no 722.
It should be at 400 and, what is it, 460? 461, I'm only at 455.
Eu 370, Gol 1722.
Oh, because this wants me at Mach 0.79. So it's just a little variance in the cost index. Whatever, it's not a big deal. 0.78, 0.79. But yeah, 0.78's getting me 455. Yes, that's a 6 knot difference between.
Mike, procedimento só a critério. Bom final de semana, até a próxima. Ciente, grato pelo controle, até a próxima. Bom fim de semana.
But yeah, my next purchase is going to be the Duke, so I'm probably not going to get it this weekend, and I'm going to be away from home next weekend. So probably the weekend after it is when I'll buy it, and I'll mess around with it, do a couple of flights. I'm sure it's not going to be a hard plane for me to learn. so, yeah, just under an hour. So, we can take a look at the arrival since we pretty much know we're going to be flying already. So, just like any other chart, we're going to look at, to make sure we have the right airport, SBBR, which is President that in Brasilia, Brazil. ATIS frequency is going to be 127.8, which we already have the digital ATIS, so that's fine. We'll have to get it at least one more time before we arrive, because it's going to update here in the next probably 10 minutes or so. Airport elevation is 3,498 feet. The altimeter is going to be set in hectopascals, and the transition level is going to be set by ATC, which we already have in the ATIS. I believe it was transition level was 75. Plane has to be RNAV1 or RNP equipped, which we are, and we have to have a GNSS on board. We have a GPS, which is a GNSS type system, so we're good to go there. SIPIG minimum altitude may be 7,000 according to the IAP in use, so that's just telling us that the minimum altitude at SIPIG, which is this fix right here, may be 7,000 feet according to whatever instrument approach procedure we're going to use. That's what IAP stands for. Right here we have the Arola 1 Alpha RNAV arrival for runways 11 left and 11 right. So we're looking good here. And then, of course, here we have a top-down view of what this arrival looks like. Pretty straightforward. We're going to be transitioning in at Azoic. From Azoic, we're going to fly inbound to Arula. At Arula, we have an altitude restriction at or below flight level 220. So if your altitude is beneath this line, that means you need to be at or below that altitude. From Arula, we're going to fly to BR 153 at or below flight level 100. Then out to BR 033 at a max speed of 220 knots. So this right here is an airspeed restriction, and that is going to be indicated airspeed. All speed restrictions are indicated airspeed. From BR 033, we're going to fly out to SIPIG. The IAF above it means that it's our initial approach fix. We have a maximum speed of 190 knots at or above 6,000 feet. So here the altitude is above this line. That means we need to be at or above 6,000 when we cross SIPIG. But again, depending on the approach that we are using, it could be 7,000. So when we're clear for our approach, we'll make sure that we use the correct altitude restriction that is here. Golden ring around the airport here is a minimum sector altitude within 25 nautical miles. ARP stands for Airport Reference Point, which is the airport itself. So if we're going to be below 6,000 feet within 25 nautical miles of the airport, we just want to be cognizant of any terrain or obstacles, mainly this friggin' tower right here, that could be around us. So this tower right here is at an elevation of 4,489 feet, so definitely want to be on the lookout for that friggin' thing. Other than that, that's a pretty straightforward arrival for us. But I'll leave it up on the screen here for another minute or so, just in case you do have any questions.
Bravo, India, X-ray.
You can feel free to pop them on in the chat.
Okay, that's fine. I was looking the other side. You can fly direct Dixon, Bravo, India, X-ray, Alpha.
So we'll do.
Here, direct Dixon, November Tango, please, appreciate it.
We have a company message for, oh, it's going to be the TAMOPS thing. Demetro, thank you for the hydrate once again. Yeah, so not going to have any ADC delay. Very nice. Are you supposed to be at the transition altitude at Zoic since that's your transition waypoint? No, so Zoic is just the transition onto the arrival. The transition altitude or the transition level is the altitude that you are going to switch your altimeter setting from the standard pressure setting to the local altimeter setting for the airport. The transition for the arrival is simply where you're going to join the arrival. So we are transitioning or joining the Arula 1 Alpha arrival at Azoic.
For runway 10 right.
So that's all that means. It's a good question, though. Good question. And then we're just going to take a look at the ATIS here. I believe it was 75 was the transition altitude.
Gol 952 Centro Brasilia, muito boa noite. Transponder 4710.
Transition, yeah, 7,500.
4710 com 952.
O Gol 952, contato radar nível 380, está sob vigilância, prossegue em rota.
Prossegue com o nosso destino.
We can turn the seatbelt signs off here.
Papa Romeo Fox
It's not turbulent or anything. We'll let you guys move around.
Autorizado o RNP da ONU 3.
Após vir autorizado o RNP da ONU 3, vai chamar estabilizado o Fox Azul.
Brasilia, good evening. Down 3774, passing now 205 for 340.
Down 3774, Brasilia, good evening. Radar contact, flight level 210. Climb, flight level 340.
Climbing 340.
All right, so we got our equal time point coming up in about 60 miles. Wait, no, is that might be 50, not 60. Yeah, 50 miles. So it's pretty much right at that fix. What's that, Kamlu?
Positivo, monitoraremos a frequência nível 22.08. Obrigado, tenha uma boa noite.
Shit. What did I do? Oh, I thought I broke something. We there yet? Bah! I'm awake. I'm awake. I promise. Man, nice and smooth. Oh, wow, we have like no wind up here now. Look at that. Now we flying. Yeah, so 0242 arrival time. We're looking good. Yeah, not as chaotic of an FNO as I thought it was going to be, but you know what? That's not always a bad thing. It's not necessarily about how chaotic it is. It's about how much fun we have. And I always have fun flying in South America. The only sad thing is that next week's FNO I'm going to miss. Because I'm not going to be here.
Tá, 238, Centro Brasília, muito boa noite.
And that's the center stage FNO. That's in New York. We haven't had a New York FNO in a while. What are you doing when we get off the plane, going to the plane-shaped city?
O Azul 4058, vento...
Oh, I'm just looking at like the events things. I'm like, oh, there's no... We're not going to do the FNO next week because I'm not going to be here. So the week after... Oh, no, the week after I'm not going to be here. The next two FNOs we're going to miss. Yeah, because I'm not streaming the 16th or the 22nd, the 23rd. Oh, man. It's going to be two FNOs in a row. But the one after on the 30th is going to be Rivers and Ranges FNO. We did that last year. I remember that one. That was in the Pacific Northwest. And then there's an Elite Wings on June 14th. We're talking like over a month from now, but I was just looking at it. There's an Elite Wings from Manila to Kai-Tak in June. So that's exciting. Yeah, it's just read the next two FNOs we're not going to do. Yeah, so while we're up here, what I'll do is I'll just pull up our normal stream schedule. Yeah, give me 1 second here. So this thing does not want to cooperate with me. So this is our normal schedule right here. So we go Tuesday through Friday. Tuesdays and Thursdays are the VATSIM 101 breakdown streams where we go through things nice and slowly. I break everything down as it happens and answer any questions that you have along the way. Kind of like, I guess we can kind of sort of do that towards the end here. I mean, like what we were just kind of doing with the arrival. But Tuesdays and Thursdays is really when we break things down and really get into it. And then Fridays, like what you're seeing here tonight, or it's, well, this isn't really like much of a chaotic event, but we get into the FNOs, which is the more chaotic events that VATSIM has to offer. And because of how chaotic these events can get, it's less time for me to explain things as they're happening and more of me just showing you what these events look like. But we can definitely incorporate a little bit of VATSIM 101 towards the end here as we get closer to Brazil, go through the arrival again, brief the approach. Wednesdays, we put up for a vote in the Discord what game you guys want to see me play, so that I'll put up over the weekend. I'll post it either tomorrow or Sunday.
You can expect
you know, when I post the
runaway 10 right.
When I post the schedule, I'll have a little react poll in there with a couple of games that you guys can choose from. Next week, we will not be streaming on Friday, though, so I will be leaving early Saturday morning to go out of town for the weekend. So Friday night, I'm going to need to be in bed a little early because I'm an old-ass man. So next Friday, we won't be streaming. And then the week after that, Thursday and Friday, we won't be streaming because my mother's coming into town. So yeah, it's going to be a little bit of a change to the stream schedule for the next 2 weeks. But then after that, it's business as freaking usual. To answer one of my questions while earlier that I may have been AFK if you ever answered, the spinning the VOR radial bug mid-turn was a bit easier than I thought. Well, yeah, well, depending on, because if you're using it for like a DME arc, then yeah, you have to spin that radial bug. But yeah, it's pretty easy. I mean, like in the real plane, it's easy because you're flying with one hand and then you just spin the bug with the other.
Brasilia Center, hello, go 18595 region.
Go 1859, Brasilia, good evening. Please squawk 4443.
Squawk 4443, go 1859.
When changing the radial from lead radial to target radial, when turning onto final approach radial. When changing, so you're talking about doing a DME arc onto an approach? If your mom tell her I said, oh, I will. Yeah, she's coming down in 2 weeks. 2 weeks, well, 3, yeah, it's like 3 weeks from today she'll be down here. So, but yeah, it's 2 weeks from this coming third. Well, yeah, I guess it's just 3 weeks. Why am I making math hard on myself? 3 weeks she'll be down here. Yeah, DME arcs, they're not, like, they're tricky, but they're not overly complicated. It's kind of like holding patterns.
Brasília, volante Poli 746 no pesado, com espera do 1 esquerdo em Brasília, pronto.
Obviously, I know how to do the real way, but my CFII told me back in instrument training, just follow the line. Just follow the magenta line. That wasn't really an option for me when I was in flight school. I mean, it was, but it wasn't. You know, I had the Garmin 430s that would draw it out for you, but my instructor was like, no, you're going to learn how to do it without the GPS. Because back then, like, it wasn't like what it is now, where everything is, like, we didn't, like, ADS-B wasn't even a thing yet. Like, it was on its, like, it was up and coming, but it, like, wasn't really a thing. Turn 10, twist 10. Yep. Turn 10, twist 10. Turn 10, twist 10. Two phrases that made me wanted to jump out of the goddamn airplane. First one is more right rudder. My foot is through the fucking floor. I can't give it anymore. Second was turn 10, twist 10. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna, like, you're lucky that this plane only got one door on it and I have to climb over to you to get to it, because otherwise I'd jump out of this thing. Say that one more time.
Thanks, have a good night. Ciao.
Boa noite.
Uma boa.
I don't think I had the right rudder thing. The only reason that, like, I kind of did is because I learned how to fly in the Northeast and it was always windy as shit. Right rudder, right rudder. I'm giving her all she's got. I'm Flintstoning this thing. It's bad here in the desert. Is it? We jumping out of an A320 now? Well, if you can get the door open, feel free. Put some aileron in it. Friggin'. I'm just going DME's getting a bit big. Turn 10. Yeah, what it's I think it's a half mile. So yeah, like you turn 10, twist 10, and then you would wait until I think it's like if you were doing like a 10-mile arc, you do like 10.5 and then you would turn or something. It was something like that. I forget exactly. It's been a while since I've done a DME arc. In a plane like that, anyway. Like, I've done DME arcs in this thing, but it draws it out for you.
Centro, Papa Romeo, Fox, Zulu.
Dá no assento pra ninguém.
Thank you, yeah.
You turn twist when you reach the next radial. Oh, right, yeah. Hit the yeah, and then, like, you want to... I think it's like you want to be within a half mile of the actual arc. Maybe that's what I'm thinking. Oh, did all the controllers sign off? Uh-oh. Oh, because the event started an hour earlier than it usually does. That's why it was from 2200 to 0200. Okay. So it's like 0200 right now. Yeah, that's why. Okay. Well, we just went ATC 0. Unfortunate. Except there's wind, so you have to fly the DME distance regardless. Yeah. Yeah, they just said, fuck it, we're all out. But yeah, no, like, listen, they've been going for 4 hours. I did not realize the event started 2 hours before, or like an hour before the stream started. All right, not a big deal. So we'll go to 122.8. Man, we'll just monitor that. Well, I mean, at least that's... Not that it's like a good thing, but it's like, well, at least now we can kind of just do whatever we want. We've already got a plan. So let's see if we can get a weather observation here, because we're not going to be able to get an ATIS anymore. So, SBBR. So now the winds are variable at 2 knots. Ceiling and visibility is okay. Temperature is 20. Dew point is 17. Altimeter is 1021. So we'll keep it with, what was it, 11 left we said? Since that is what the ATIS was showing originally. So let's see what we can do here. So SIPIG. Yeah, we'll just do the ILS Yankee 11 left. I mean, we could do 11 right. That'll get us closer to the terminal. Yeah, you know, let's do 11 right. That'll get us a little bit closer to the terminal. So, yeah, still the same transition. So we'll get this loaded in. Too steep, pathhead. Shut up. How about that? So we'll do arrival. It'll be the ILS Zulu 11 right. And we'll do the... Okay, so that's... Yeah, I'm looking for the approach transitions. Approach vias, we're going to do the SIPIG transition. Beautiful. So it's too steep path. How is that too steep of a path? What if I just do this until you just shut the fuck up? I guess that's not an option. Too steep path. How, though? 220 to 100. That should not be... Well, whatever. We'll figure out a way. We could probably start the descent a little bit sooner. Yeah, so we'll start the descent before we get to Arula. I can't even see Arula on here. Your top of descent is right at Vulps or Vulpa. Yeah, I think that's what I'll probably do here. Yeah, let's do that. Let's start our descent now. And what I'll do is I'll do just like a profile descent. Yeah, I don't know why it's weird. All right, so we're gonna enter in our destination data here. So we'll do QNH is 1021. Temperature is 20. Winds are variable at 2 knots. We'll enter that in as a tailwind. So we'll do 288 degrees at 2 knots. Transition level is 75. Approach speed is going to be 136. And then the minimums are going to be 3747. We'll brief the approach here in just a minute. I'm caught up to the tail end of your contrails. Oh boy. All right, we'll get the seatbelt signs turned on. So let's take a look at this approach. So we have SBBR, which is that airport, which is in Brasilia, Brazil. And we have the ILS Zulu runway 11 right approach. So we got the right airport. We got the right approach. So no air traffic controllers are going to be online to help us. We are going to be communicating on the Unicom frequency, which is 122.8. And that's because we're in South America, where they do not have CTAF frequencies implemented just yet. Localizer frequency is going to be 109.9, and the identifier is going to be IDF. So when we get this plugged into the NavRad, we're going to make sure that that frequency and that identifier are in there correctly. What's wrong with that? I just can't say it. Final approach course is going to be 108 degrees. Final approach fix is going to be a TOSIG, which we have to cross at 5,150 feet, which is 1,652 feet over the ground. ILS decision altitude is 3747. If we get to our decision altitude and we don't see the runway environment, or if for whatever reason we don't think we're going to be able to safely land the plane, we'll be expected to execute the published missed approach, which is a climb to 6,000 feet on a heading of 108 degrees until 4,500 feet, then right turn direct to Mopta for holding. Minimum sector, well, it says TAA 25 nautical miles, so it's going to be down here somewhere. So that's going to be our minimum sector altitudes. Airport elevation is 3,498 feet, as is the runway elevation. And then coming on down here, we have the altimeter is going to be set to hectopascals. Runway elevation is 122 hectopascals, so that is if you were going to use the QFE instead of the QNH. Transition levels by ATC, we know that's going to be 7,500 feet. And then down here, we have a top-down view of what this approach looks like. We are going to transition right in here at SIPIG. IAF above it means that it's the initial approach fix. That's where the approach is going to start. So we want to cross SIPIG at 6,000 feet. From SIPIG, we're going to fly inbound to BR077 with a mandatory crossing restriction at 5,500 feet. Then we're going to fly out to Nimto, which is our initial fix, shown here by this IF above the fix. Still a mandatory altitude of 5,500 feet. From there, we turn inbound towards the final approach fix, catch the localizer, eventually the glide slope, and ride that down to our decision altitude. The side profile view, again, we have 5,500 feet. Once we cross Nimto, we can descend down to 5,150 feet to cross Tosig. We do not want to go below 5,100 feet between Nimto and Tosig. Once we catch the glide slope, we are then going to start our final descent down towards the runway. One thing I did miss up here, the minimum sector altitude's right here. So this is Sipig, and then this right here is probably going to be Nimto. So it looks like if we're to the south of Nimto, our minimum sector altitude is 6,000 feet. And then over here, that's on the north side. We don't need to worry about that. So 6,000 feet is our minimum sector altitude. And then for the descent, since we're going to be close to 140 knots on the approach, we're going to be looking for about 743 feet per minute on the descent. We're going to look for an LSAF-1 approach lighting system with a PAPI on the left-hand side. It's going to look something like this. Then we have our abbreviated missed approach right here. Once again, decision altitude is 3,747 feet. Runway visual range and visibility requirements are not going to apply. Our visibility is, it says ceiling and visibility okay, so basically meaning that the visibility is unlimited. So that's definitely good news for us. So yeah, that's pretty much everything. The blue shapes near the glide slope, what do they mean? These look like they are airspace. So there's a little annotation. So SBD 628, so we could probably find that. Let's see. SBD 628. I don't know if that's actually going to be on here. But that's definitely some kind of airspace thing. SBD. There's probably another chart that we can reference. I just don't know if I have it. I'll have to look at that. I have a feeling that's just for like obstacle clearance. I'm just gonna Google it real quick. So SBD 628. I'm not gonna find that. I'm not gonna find that anywhere. But yeah, I have a feeling it's just like a terrain clearance thing, because you have like this mountain that's right here, and then you have these different obstacles out here. Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to find that. I hate Kavik. How is my simulator? Know what clouds, if any, to draw? Well, Kavik is ceiling and visibility okay, meaning that it's not detecting any clouds. The only place I could think of it would be in here. But it's not. Yeah, do it like this. If I do a low IFR, that's gonna be this right here. So that is, says from the ground to 4,300 feet. Says type is danger. I don't know if you can see it. I don't know if my head's in the way. So lower limit is the ground, upper limit is 4,300 feet. And it's an, yeah, it's an obstacle thing. Get out of here. Yeah, so then this one is from the ground to 4,170 feet, and it says obstacle. Yeah, so that's It's just obstacle. Like an obstacle warning. That's what it is. Did I open the rate? I did not. Let's see. So we have about 20 minutes till we land. Let's get this open. So we'll let it run for 20 minutes. We have that. Thank you for reminding me, Dementia. All right, so we have the landing rate prediction is open. So for those of you that are new, we use the Twitch predictions for the landing rate. So bet your nuggies on what you think the landing rate's going to be. There's going to be a purple window at the top of the chat. If you don't see the purple window, go into where you redeem your nuggies or your channel points, and then that's where you'll find the prediction. So you've got 20 minutes, and then when we land, I'll show you what the rate is so you know I'm not making it up. So get your predictions in, everyone, and good luck. What did I get last time? What was it, minus 176? We'll get the constraints on here. Yeah, so starting the descent, or yeah, I don't know why it had like was starting the descent so late. Bah. I'm just trying to see real quick if there's anything else that I can find out about this airspace. But yeah, I guess it's just saying if you're between the ground and 4,300 feet in that area, it's just like, you know, danger, danger. Let me Google the actual, because it says obstacle SBBR1. No, it's not going to come up with anything. Just an obstacle danger. All right, so since we're not talking to air traffic control, we are going to need to make position reports as we start getting close to the airport. So when we're communicating on the radio, especially when we're making position reports, we are going to follow the 4 whiskeys of radio communication. So the 4 whiskeys are who we're calling, who we are, what our position is, and what our intentions are. So the first whiskey is who we're calling, which is going to be the traffic around Brasilia Airport. Because we're not talking to a specific air traffic controller and we're broadcasting our intentions around the Brasilia Airport, we need to let everybody know what we're doing. So we're going to call out to Brasilia traffic. Second whiskey is who we are, and that is going to be our call sign, which is TAM 621 or 621. The third whiskey is what our position is. And I'm going to state my position relative to the airport in distance, direction, and altitude. So your distance is going to be in nautical miles. Your direction is going to be, north, south, east, west. And then your altitude is going to be your altitude. So you want to avoid saying what procedures you're flying on or what fixes you're flying over, because not everybody is going to know where those particular fixes are located or what the procedure you're flying on looks like. And then the fourth whiskey is what our intentions are, and our intentions are simply to land on runway 11 right. I'm going to start my position reports when I'm 20 nautical miles from the field, and I'm going to update my position every 5 or 10 miles. In a jet like this, I'm probably going to do it every 10 just because of how fast we're going. But, every 5 or 10 miles is a good interval for you to make those position reports. So, pretty straightforward. Are we going to get to flight level 220 by Arula? I'm going to go open descent here. I just want to make sure I'm going to get below that altitude. Or what I can do, actually, let me just do like 2,000 feet a minute right now. We'll just use the vertical speed mode. My nose was bleeding for no reason. Awkward, I have a cold Coke on my face. Yeah. On hot days, yeah, when it's like hot and dry, I don't get like nosebleeds, but my nose feels like it's on fire. So like I definitely get that. Did you put up the landing prediction? It's not showing. Yeah, if you don't see it at the top of the window, you just go into where you redeem your nuggies. It'll be in there. Been up for probably about 5 minutes now. Yeah, try refreshing it, James. So the elevation of the airport is 3,400 feet, or 3,500 feet, so 13,500 will be our sterile cockpit altitude. Oh, profile. Go. All right, here we go. Oh, shit. That is a hell of a descent. Okay, I don't want to descend at 4,000 feet per minute. That's ridiculous. I mean, if I must, then I must. Yeah, that's crazy. All right, now it's coming back now. All right, I'm doing vertical speed mode for this. I am not descending at that fucking rate. That is insane. Yeah, we're gonna get to 6,000 at BR033. Like, there's no need for that. 2,500 feet per minute, that's what I'm doing. There's no reason for that. Go home, Phoenix, you're drunk. Gotta go see you. Got a bus in an hour. All right, Kamas, we'll see you next week. Appreciate you coming out, my friend. If you want to get into the landing rate before you go, win some nuggies or lose some nuggies, who knows? Yeah, who really knows at this rate? Now, what is that? Is that bringing me back to like 250 knots? That might be the decel for 220. We'll see. We'll see when we hit it. I might have to yank the speed brake. So let's come over here. Let's do our...
Traffic going 859 ILS Yankee, runway 11 left.
What's
now
my...
passing 7,700, descend to 6,500.
Do 11 right, and
Bravo Romeo 03, position.
So let's just do 135,000.
Brasilia ILS Yankee, runway 11 left.
Can we do the low brake? That's 7,100 feet. Yeah. Let's do low brake. And max reversers. Yeah, that'll be fine. Yeah, this wants to come back to 250 knots. We'll go landing lights on. And then we'll do the turn-off lights on. No, not turn-off lights. I'm sorry, the wing lights. We'll pull the speed brake out. We'll get the music turned off. We'll do the terrain radar, too. Definitely gonna need that. It might be a little high. Not by much, though. Actually, no, we'll probably be just at 100 when we cross that fix. Yeah, here comes, so the profile's starting to come back. All right, so let's do this. We'll go back to the profile descent. Yeah, I don't know what that profile was. Alright, so we'll get the speed brake in. We'll arm it, and then we'll arm the auto brake for low. Although maybe I should do medium because we're going to be approaching kind of fast. Our ground speed's going to be a little bit faster. Yeah, that'll bring it down to like 5,800 feet, 5,500 feet. Oh, that came to an abrupt halt. All right. So it's gonna, okay, so it's bringing us down to 220. Bring up the perf page here. So yeah, approach speed is 136 knots. And then once we get below 230 knots, it looks like we'll go flaps 1. Unicom, right, since they don't have CTAF. Yep, we'll be on Unicom. 1228. And I think we're just about 20, well, like 25 miles. So we'll make our first position report here in just a minute. Man, the plane is struggling to slow down, so we are going a little bit faster than we should be. But it's fine. James the Werewolf, thank you for that follow. Welcome aboard. So we'll go flaps 1, just to try and keep, our descent rate steep at the same speed, or steeper at the same speed. I think this is close enough to 20 miles. We can do a 20-mile call. Brasilia traffic, TAM 621, approximately 20 nautical miles southwest of the field, descending through flight level 78, inbound ILS, runway 11 right. And we'll double check that frequency to make sure that's in there correctly. So IDF 109.9 and our inbound course is 108. I think it's supposed to be 109, but that's just a little, okay, it's on the 108. Sometimes flight sim, because flight sim doesn't get updated as much as like the Navigraph charts do, so sometimes it'll show that old heading, which isn't a big deal. All right, so all the altimeters are set here. I didn't know I was a werewolf. Yeah, me neither. Got something you want to tell us?
Brazilian traffic going 859 on final established runway 11 left.
We'll get the landing modes turned on here. So we got somebody ahead of us. And he came from SBSV. That's a fun airport to go to. We did that for, was it an Elite Wings or a First Wings we flew there? I think it was a First Wings. It may have been an Elite Wings, though. Not a full moon tonight, to your knowledge. Let's bring this down. Oh, no, let's go profile descent. That crossing restriction is, it was 5150, right? Yeah, so we'll do 5100. Are we not in approach mode yet? It does not look like it. Oh, the decel point's right there. Okay, so it's at NIMTO. Seems like it'd be a little late to decelerate, but, you know, we'll see.
City traffic November 47680, 25 to the southwest.
Brasilia traffic, TAM 621, turning 15-mile final, runway 11 right. Almost missed the... No, you still got like another couple of minutes. I'm going to have to end it a little early, it looks like, just because of... how fast we got to the runway here. Alright, I'm going to activate the approach mode now. I don't like how fast we're going. Alright, so we got our localizer there. That's coming in, so we're going to go localizer mode.
Brasilia traffic going 859, runway 11 left, east vacated.
We'll get the rest of these lights turned on here, so when I drop the gear, they'll come out. Alright, we'll go flaps 2. Drop the gear. And we'll go flaps full. Alright, glide slope is alive. Alright, we'll go approach mode just so I don't forget like I did the last time. And we'll set our go around altitude. Nope. Ah, shit. Why did it... Oh, I see what it did. Alright. Turn off the autopilot. Brasilia traffic, TAM 6215, mile final, 11 right. Alright, we're configured.
This is a fine fucking pickle. God damn it.
Brasilia traffic number 47680, 15 mile final, runway 11 right.
Didn't I just get a 1,000-foot call out before?
minimum
Landing.
200.
Waiting traffic number 47680, 10 mile final, runway 11 right.
10, 5.
Auto brakes deployed. Reversers out. Alright, below 80 knots, reversers in. And we'll vacate right here at Echo Echo. Auto brakes off. That felt like a pretty soft landing. I would probably guess somewhere around 150. That was pretty soft. Brasilia traffic. TAM 621 vacating 11 right at Echo Echo, taxiing to the ramp via Romeo. Oh, no, don't pull left, pull left. Oh my god. Whoa, what is happening? Plane is not doing plane things. Jesus. All right, let's get these lights turned off. Turn off lights off. We'll set the nose light to taxi. Wing light off. Strobe lights off. Can we, like, get a grip? There's Romeo right there. We'll get the APU on. We'll get the music turned back on. It looked like a slight float drop. Did it? Didn't seem like it to me. Me, it was. I mean, it was a floater for sure, but I don't know about a drop. I don't know. I guess we're gonna find out here in a minute. Is that? Speaking of drop, what is that? It's the same crater that took out the dinosaurs. The Grand Canyon, yeah. Alright, this is what I'm gonna do. We're gonna stop right here for a second. We're gonna go slew mode. Boom. And off we go. You ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
Lake traffic number 47680,
yeah, that's just a
right.
an Asobo signature move is what we call that. All right, so we'll take one of these. Are there gates on the ends here? It looks like there should be, but there's not. So we'll taxi around to the other side, and we'll just park right over there. Oh, that's not a taxi lane. That was a parking thing. All right, hang on. Come out this way. Man, this airport is all sorts of screwed up, huh? Okay. Yeah, we'll just take... Yeah, this is kind of screwy. We'll just park right here. So we'll get the nose light turned off. This plane will fucking turn. Jesus. Alright, I'll just park like a dick. Alright, so we'll park it right here. Parking brake's gonna come on. We're gonna come up here. We're gonna turn the dome light on. APU bleed's gonna come on. We're gonna come down to the engines. And where are my engines? Right here. So that all looks good. Both engines coming off. And below 40% on the N2s. The beacon light's gonna come off. Seatbelt sign's gonna come off. We are gonna come over here and get the jet bridge out. And yeah, chocks and cones, the GPU. The jet bridge not gonna work. No. Oh, there it is. Awesome. Yeah, so that is all looking good. We'll get the GPU power turned on. Okay. Perfect. All right, guys. Landing rate prediction time. Are you guys ready? In 3, 2,
47680, clear run
1. I'm gonna call bullshit on that one. Minus 433, really? With a landing G-force of 1.01 and a landing speed of 141 knots, that's what you're going with, Atlanta? That's what you're going with? Pfft, whatever. Where did I put it down? Let's see. So in the touchdown zone. So that's what this is. 500, 1,000. Then this would probably be 2,000. It's like on the 2,500 footers, I guess. Because this is an ICAO aiming point, so that's going to be 1,300 feet, not 1,000. I think it measured the accelerometer before the accelerometer. I have no idea what it does. All I know is that sometimes it rips me off, and this is one of those times. But whatever, Volanta don't lie. That's the rules. Whatever Volanta says is what it's got to be. So let's do that. It's going to be greater than 300 feet per minute, which nobody guessed. The one time that nobody thought that the landing rate was... Well, to be fair, I question this. To be fair, I question that. I believe we are being lied to. There is some kind of grand conspiracy. They're lying to us. All right, so I believe that's everything here. So we'll get this turned off, that turned off. Yes, that is... Well, let's do this. We'll do that. And this, and then we'll get the APU turned off. Man, the system is ready. I'm telling you, man. Stop the count. All right, everybody. So with that, we will conclude this evening's stream. So for those of you that are new here, what we usually do is VATSIM 101. And how it normally works is I take you through a flight in VATSIM, break things down nice and slowly as we go through it, and answer any questions that you have along the way. On Fridays, we get into the Friday Night Ops, or FNOs, as VATSIM calls them, which are big chaotic events that VATSIM puts on for the community, and then we fly in the event. So I'll pull up our normal streaming schedule here. I know we looked at this before, but we'll just run through it once again. There was someone in the Discord who stalled this plane, and it had like 0.6. Jesus. So Tuesdays and Thursdays are the VATSIM 101 streams, where we go through things nice and slowly, break it all down as it happens, and answer any questions that you have along the way. Fridays, we get into the big events like the Friday Night Ops, like, you know, what you've seen here tonight. Although tonight's Friday Night Op was a little less chaotic than most other FNOs that we do. But because of how chaotic the FNOs tend to get, it's less time for me to explain things as they're happening, and more of me just showing you what VATSIM looks like in these bigger, more chaotic events. Wednesdays, we put up for a vote in the Discord what you guys want to see me play. So this weekend, when I post up next week's schedule, I'll throw in a poll for what game it is that you guys want to watch me play. And then, of course, we will play that game. And that's all caps lock right there. So I will drop the Discord link in the chat for you guys, as long as the socials link is where you can find me on some other platforms. Discord is 18+ if you do wish to join it. So just keep in mind you'll need to be 18+, but that's the link right there. Socials is where you can find me on other platforms like YouTube and TikTok, where I do have some VATSIM 101 style content for you to take advantage of, and I do have other projects that are planned, so there will certainly be more videos in the near future for you to take advantage of. And just again for the schedule, let me pull this back up. So this is obviously not next week's schedule. This is the schedule for this week. Next week we will not be streaming on Friday because I will be out of town for the weekend. So, you know, I want to make sure I'm in bed nice and early Friday night, so I can do some driving Saturday morning. So, unfortunately, next Friday, we will not be streaming. But Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, we will still be here. So, let's look for a raid target. Oh, brakes are hot? How about shut the hell up? Well, the brakes are hot. Yeah, stop complaining. You know who doesn't complain about hot brakes? Boeing. All right, so we'll take a look for a raid target here. And while I do want to thank everybody for coming out and hanging out for as long as you have tonight. It's a little bit shorter of a Friday Night Op stream, but still a whole lot of fun. I really do love flying in South America, so love taking advantage of these events whenever we get the opportunity. So let's see. Who are we going to say hi to? Is there anybody on our list that we haven't said hi to in a while? Let's see. Oh, we have Charlie Foxtrot. We haven't said hi to him in a minute. Yeah, he's doing some GA flying. That's his normal sort of thing. So it looks like he's flying the Arrow. Yeah. So yeah, we'll go hang out with Charlie for a little bit. And before I set this raid up, we're gonna go through our normal raid call right here. That's gonna be the Nuggie. So that's gonna be that emote that I'm dropping in the chat right now for you. So when you get into Charlie's chat, spam the Nuggie, spread the love and the positive vibes in his direction. And of course, as always, make sure you tell him that Cross Hyperu has sent you. So once again, everybody, thank you so much for coming out tonight. Really appreciate all of you coming out, supporting what it is that we do here. Can't wait to do it all again with you next week in some more VATSIM 101. So we will be back Tuesday evening, everybody, 2300 Zulu, 7 p.m. Eastern, for another edition of VATSIM 101, breaking things down slowly, answering your questions along the way, and as always, having a really good time. We will see you all then, everybody, and until next time, this is Cross Hyperu with a rigged landing rate, signing out. Bullshit.